It's Thursday, February the 5th. Today, SkyCity Centre, the building never went up, but the scheme came crashing down. What comes next for a pair of would-be developers and the people they defrauded? Also, why Abi Khan wants the healthcare system probed and what the health minister is saying in response. Plus, what pedestrians and businesses say should be done to make getting around Osborne Village a little safer. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. The weekend is in sight. We're almost there. And Ainsley McPhail is telling us all about safety at this time of year, because there are things you need to keep in mind. Safety when it's really cold outside, but it's not that extreme cold right now. But still, there are things to keep in mind, because when the snow falls and you're shoveling, you don't want to slip. You don't want to break a hip. You don't want to hurt your back, and you don't want to have a heart attack when you're shoveling.
None of those things.
Exactly. So we're going to have some reminders on how to do it right. If you're plugging in your vehicle, what to keep in mind so you don't start a fire. She's going to have all kinds of safety reminders for us throughout the morning. But yeah, it's been pretty mild outside. I don't mind being outside at all.
Yeah, finally. The warm-up is, it started yesterday, but then it continued, and now this morning, it is downright balmy out there. You can see the camera shaking, although the winds aren't expected to be too intense today. It's just a west wind, 22 kilometers per hour, -5 to begin the day, and then a wind chill value of -12. That's nothing. Pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 95%. It is going to be an incredibly mild day. I mean, we're at -5 right now. -10 would be a normal daytime high, so we're already well above that, but we'll still make some gains today and likely to crack the freezing mark with plus digits on tap. With those plus digits, though, can come the chance of precipitation, likely then in mixed or liquid form. The clouds, we had a clearer moment right now, even just when I was on my way into work. I was like, ooh, the moon is still looking gorgeous. Not full anymore, but still beautiful and bright. But we will see these clouds building up over the course of the morning. And then I mentioned that possibility of precipitation, and you can see the different colors in there, the green, the pinks, the blues, is that blue? I don't know what color the snow is. The kind of that bluish, purpley kind of, anyway, whatever. You know what the snow looks like, but then there's the green, that is rain, and the pink, the freezing rain that's in there as well. As it clears out overnight and for tomorrow, we'll see the sunshine returning, but the temperatures will dip for Friday before rebounding again on the weekend. The weekend, though, comes with some heavier clouds, maybe again some scattered precipitation, but the temperatures will be back up above seasonal for a stretch of days well into the middle of next week.
Thank you, Terry. They promised Winnipeggers they could own the sky, but the SkyCity downtown condo development never got off the ground. Now the two developers behind it are going to jail for fraud. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has the story.
This parking lot was once the site of big dreams for some investors. That ended this week in criminal sentences and hefty fines for the men behind the project. An Ontario court sentenced Jawad Rathor and Vince Petroza, the duo behind Fortress Real Developments, after they were found guilty of defrauding almost 800 people who invested in the SkyCity Centre Winnipeg project and another project in Barrie, Ontario.
I mean, these people were lied to and completely misled. And that can happen to anybody.
Ron Butler, a Toronto mortgage broker, has followed the case for years.
They had a track record, but that's the way con men work. They make sure that they have something to point at that is okay first before they go in for the big money and take everybody down.
It was supposed to be the tallest building from Calgary to Toronto, a 45-story, 392-unit luxury condo tower. Now, the Ontario court has sentenced its developers to 5 years in prison and a $12.2 million fine each. Gerald Chan, Petroza's lawyer, said in a statement in part, "We are appealing the verdict on the basis that the trial judge made errors in his treatment of the opinions of value that were used on the Fortress projects and disclosed to investors." Rathor's lawyer, Scott Fenton, told CTV in a statement in part, Mr. Rathor has filed an appeal and has been granted bail pending appeal.
We need density, and we need more residential units. And so this parking lot is a strategic location for density, for development.
Rochelle Squires, CEO of Centre Venture, remembers a time when this site at Graham Avenue and Gary Street promised homes for hundreds right downtown. Now, she's confident another condo development could come alive here.
There's enough incentives in the mix so that a proponent could bring forward a viable project on this property, and it wouldn't necessarily need to be 40 stories to make it viable.
In the meantime, Butler says it was a sophisticated scheme, the scale of which hasn't been seen before, and investors are unlikely to get any of their money back.
This is not a victimless crime. This is the worst kind of crime, really.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Court documents say the gross amount of fraud for both projects was $33.1 million, but the actual loss was determined to be $24.4 million. That's the amount the developers have been ordered to pay. Justice Moore said in his closing remarks, no sentence is going to get investors their money back. A Winnipeg police officer who fatally shot a 16-year-old First Nations girl following a robbery and vehicle chase says nothing could have trained him for that moment. Constable Kyle Pradnuk made the comments as the inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson continues in Winnipeg. He says it's not common practice for an officer to shoot at a vehicle with an unknown number of occupants, but he believed the lives of his fellow officers were in danger. Hudson was killed in 2020 after the vehicle she was driving was involved in a liquor store robbery and police chase. He testified he fired 2 shots at Hudson after he believed the vehicle was moving toward other officers. The inquest is examining whether the use of force was appropriate and whether systemic racism played a role in the death because the suspects were identified as Indigenous. Prime Minister Mark Carney sat down with the Big City Mayors Caucus Wednesday with a wide range of items up for discussion.
We're just here to emphasize the programs we're putting in place, Canada's new government's putting in place, and how we can work together. Once colleagues leave, we're going to get down to brass tacks in terms of what's working, what's not, how we can hit the ground running.
We know that housing can't be built faster than the water, wastewater, and community infrastructure that supports it, and that same infrastructure underpins trade and the important trade relationships we have. And we know that if you want to double the exports east to west, we need the roads and the bridges that connect every factory and every mine to those rail and port infrastructures, and high-quality public transit that transports those goods around our biggest and largest cities.
The mayors and Carney are also expected to talk changes to the criminal code, making bail more strict and building up the RCMP. We are a day away from the start of the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. Officials with Team Canada this morning says our athletes are ready to go.
I want to take a moment on behalf of the athletes to thank Canadians for standing with this team. We can't do it alone. We can't do it without Canadians behind us.
There are more than 200 athletes representing Team Canada at the Games. 4 years ago in Beijing, Canada won 26 medals, tied for its second best showing at a Winter Olympics. Heading into tomorrow's opening ceremony, there are serious concerns over the health of snowboarder Mark McMorris. He was airlifted to hospital yesterday after a crash during a training run. Officials gave an update on his health this morning.
He's in the village back with the athletes. It's a situation, of course, we're assessing hour per hour.
Team officials say they will keep monitoring McMorris's condition before today's snowboard big air qualification. That decision is expected by 10 a.m. Eastern Time. McMorris is a 3-time Olympic bronze medalist. If you have money on a Toys R Us gift card, you have 2 weeks to use it at its remaining stores. The toy retailer will soon stop accepting gift cards after filing for creditor protection. It has at least $160 million in unpaid bills. There are just over 20 Toys R Us stores still open across Canada, but the company has warned it may reduce the number of locations it operates even further. A pampered pooch with a Toronto connection has won the world's most coveted Show Dog Prize.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Penny won Best in Show Tuesday night. The 4-year-old competed against 2,500 other dogs spanning more than 200 breeds. Her co-owner is Greg Chan of Toronto. He says Penny is very demanding and very smart, but is also a pleaser and will do anything for food. Each dog at Westminster is assessed according to how closely it matches the ideal for its breed. The winner gets a trophy, ribbons, and bragging rights. Congratulations to her. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Kenniston Boulevard. Things are picking up over here, moving quite well so far this morning. If you see any issues out there, let us know, please. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about winter safety and how to handle the extreme cold. Good morning.
Well, Rochelle, we've certainly seen a lot of that this season. It's felt like time has stopped at times because of this bitter cold winter. Now we're talking about safety. If you see somebody who's unresponsive, of course, call 911. We're going to be learning about some of those signs coming up at 6:44 alongside an advanced care paramedic. The Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service is also warning people about falls because a day like today is a little bit milder, so you're going to start to see it get a little bit glossier on the ground. Over 12,000 calls annually are seen for falls. We're also going to be talking about snow shoveling safety. Look, if you're not physically well enough to do this, get someone else to do it, because yesterday we talked about heart health, and that is oh so important for our Manitobans who are getting in a serious workout when it comes to snow shoveling.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. We'll check in later. Let's go out to the rooftop now. There's a little bit of a breeze out there. Terry, how's it feeling?
Yeah, it's just a light breeze. Honestly, it's so mild that the breeze isn't really much of an issue at all, except that every now and then I find myself eating my hair. But as far as the temperatures go, or then the consequent wind chill values from that light breeze, really, it's not much of a factor this morning. Our temperature itself sits at -6, down a degree from last hour. -13 is what it's feeling like out here with a 19K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 91%. Now, I was saying how clear it was this morning when I was on my way into work, and that's still the case right now. So we are having a moment of fairly clear conditions, but they're not likely to last throughout the day today. Later on into the morning, we will start to see some clouds building up, but with the sun rising before 8 a.m., we might get to enjoy a bit of that sunshine before it completely clouds over. But then once it does, there is a very good chance of some precipitation. And I've been talking about it arriving in mixed form because of where these temperatures are headed. I know we're just below the freezing mark right now, so if it were to show up at this point, it would probably be maybe some light flurries. But by the time it does arrive, we're likely to be in the plus digits by then. So a rain-snow mix or freezing rain, that's all a possibility for later this afternoon. And then it clears out somewhat with slightly cooler temps tomorrow. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Good morning. Following the deaths of 4 Manitobans in hospital over the past year, PC leader Abhi Khan says Manitobans are losing trust in our province's healthcare system. And he's calling on Premier Wab Kinew to call a public inquiry. The 2 most recent incidents happened in January at St. Boniface Hospital. As CTV News first reported, the family of Stacey Ross says the 55-year-old waited more than 12 hours before being discharged with a virus. They say she was sent home but died after waiting another 11 hours in the emergency room. And then 68-year-old Judy Burns' family claims she was misdiagnosed during an ER visit and believed that error led to her death. Officials are currently reviewing both cases to determine if they meet the criteria for a critical incident review. But Khan says the NDP government needs to do more. He says, quote, by limiting the scope of these investigations to internal incident reviews, you are failing to govern in the best interests of Manitobans. He says that's why Kinew must call a public inquiry or recall the Legislative Assembly so MLAs can vote on one. Health Minister Uzama Azaguera says Khan should respect that there is a process in place that is already happening.
I've had the opportunity to meet with one of the families and hear their experience directly from them. You know, these folks have very real questions and they deserve answers to those questions, and that's why there's a critical investigation underway.
Azaguera says a critical incident investigation leaves no stone unturned. It will uncover what went wrong and where the system needs to make improvements. Azaguera says the families will be kept updated on the progress of the investigation and will have their questions answered. A push is on to improve pedestrian safety on Osborne Street. The local councillor wants the city to study how traffic could be slowed down between Broadway and the St. Vital Bridge to prevent injuries and deaths. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the move could also be good for business.
Walking through Osborne Village, Doug Schwartz says you have to keep a close watch.
Seems to be a very minimal regard to, foot traffic. That's just the honest take. And riding a bike, you can forget about that.
Others say drivers are going too fast and there is not enough time for people to cross safely at intersections. Brenda Lafreniere says she avoids rush hour here.
The cars coming from Osborne do not let the pedestrians go when they have the chance.
Area Councillor Sherry Rowlands is calling on the city to do a safety review of Osborne Street from Broadway to the St. Vital Bridge to come up with measures to better protect pedestrians and slow traffic down. That could include lowering the speed limit, narrowing the road, and making pedestrian signals last longer.
To be able to make sure there's less accidents and on-road deaths on Osborne.
The call comes after the death of a woman who was hit by a vehicle in November. A young boy was also recently injured crossing the street.
Commuting is to the benefit of folks, driving through an area, and it's to the detriment of the people who are in this area trying to make these businesses thrive.
And this might also help local businesses. The Osborne Village Biz says if you slow vehicles down, opportunities could pop up.
But that also would open the opportunity for people to actually sit and enjoy their coffee or something on a patio on one of the sidewalks. Right now, it's so noisy and there's so much traffic.
But there are concerns about potential traffic delays. That was one of the reasons the city gave in rejecting a pedestrian scramble crossing for Osborne and River. And Osborne is a major road that funnels traffic to and from downtown.
I think it's adequately controlled right now.
The city's Public Works Committee asked the department to come back with a report on this in 6 months. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A rare one-on-one meeting was held between Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre.
We have been working to fast-track anything that we believe, however modest, might make life a little more affordable, a little safer, and our economy a little stronger.
Following the meeting, Mark Carney posted this picture to social media, writing, quote, "We need Parliament to move swiftly to deliver for Canadians, and this is an important time to be working together and to pass the legislation Canadians are counting on." Pierre Poilievre also posted saying in part, quote, "Today I met the Prime Minister to push policies to make Canada affordable, safe and self-reliant. I offered specific suggestions on how to bring back investment and restated the offer from Conservatives to help in the Canada-US negotiations. Right now, the Liberal government is 3 seats shy of a majority, meaning opposition support is required to pass legislation." A school in the River East Transcona School Division was evacuated Wednesday morning due to an unspecified threat. A spokesperson for the division confirms police were called and Bernie Wolf School was evacuated shortly before classes were set to begin. Classes were later canceled for the day. Police say no physical threats were discovered at the school and there's no threat to public safety, but the investigation is ongoing. Neither police nor the division elaborated on the nature of the threat. Some remarkable video from the streets of Toronto that shows a very close encounter with a coyote.
Yo, what is a coyote, yo?
The face-to-face confrontation happened in broad daylight in a neighborhood in North York. The animal did keep its distance, eventually darting away before getting too close. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Carlton Street. The southbound median and curb lanes will be closed from Ellis to Graham. Following the rush, both east and westbound curb lanes on Corden Avenue will be closed between Lilac to Coburn, and the southbound curb lane on McPhillip Street will be closed from Jarvis to Higgins. If you see any problems out there, please text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
We are taking a look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Golden Boy looking pretty gorgeous out there. Fairly clear start to your morning. It likely won't stay that way, though. We'll see clouds building up throughout the day today and perhaps some precipitation to come along with it. Mild, though, no matter where you are. Taking a look at these temperatures, and we're all well above seasonal. -6 in Winnipeg, and we're one of the coldest places that you can see right now. -4 over in Brandon. That's a +2 in the Dauphin area, and right at the freezing mark, Swan River, the Pas, so right up into parts of north central Manitoba. Things are very mild, although still very mild right up into the far northwest as well, with -10 your low temperature. And even Churchill doing all right compared to what is normal, -18 for you to begin the day. Now, that does feel more like -28 and those high 20s in the far northeast. A wind chill value of -13 here in Winnipeg, although the winds aren't expected to be too extreme today. It's just a moderate wind at this time. There, the clear conditions, but you can see the clouds moving in, so expect that clear-ish moment to only last through maybe a few hours this morning, and then into the afternoon, mainly cloudy conditions, and there will likely be some precipitation. You can see some colors starting to show up off to the west, and all of that will be closing in on us. So that chance of showers maybe into the afternoon, if not then into the evening time. Heavier clouds will be building up, but we'll likely crack the freezing mark, headed into the plus digits, 2 degrees by the time kids are coming home from school. That is our expected high today, but with that chance of precipitation, and then clearing in the overnight hours, setting us up for sunshine tomorrow. A cooler day ahead, still compared to normal, not bad. -10 is a seasonal high. We're back up above those digits once we're looking through what will be a cloudy weekend and much of next week. The moon on display and competing with the northern lights. What a stunning sky out in the Winnipeg Beach area. Thanks to Jody for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with your Morning Winnipeg.
Good morning. This basketball program empowers youth on and off the court.
Giving them discipline in terms of their behavior, giving them an opportunity to hone in on their skills on the court while they're going through school.
Denberg Reed runs Red Rush Basketball in Montreal. Kids in the program come from underserved communities. They get a chance to play on a team and take part in workshops to develop their leadership skills. The price to play? All it costs is a promise to keep your marks up. Reed says 3/4 of his players continue with their education after high school. Get ready to rock and roll. It's time for a Your Morning Winnipeg contest. Motley Crue will headline the 2nd annual Rock and Thunder at Princess Auto Stadium. The legendary rock band will help kickstart the summer. And Your Morning Winnipeg has a pair of tickets to give away this week. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Good luck. A woman in Châteauguay who spends her winters in Florida has started a fundraiser. It's to help a store employee who is 92 years old retire. CTV's Kelly Craig has the story.
This is a story about kindness after a simple shopping trip turned into a life-changing moment.
Hey there. I said to her, good for you to still be working at your age. And that's when she said, I'm 92. I don't want to be working, but I have to.
For the past 4 years, Muriel Ann Connick has been working at this Burlington coat store in Pompano Beach, Florida. On her feet for around 5 hours per day. Her Social Security wasn't enough to cover the bills. And because she had to work, her food stamp allowance was cut. But that's when she met snowbird April Steele, who posted about the chance encounter online.
I didn't know it till my grandson called me and told me. I said, Facebook, how'd I get on there?
The average retirement age in Florida is 64 years, and it's estimated it takes $67,000 to be comfortable. A far cry from what Connick is making.
My mother lived to 96. I could never have imagined her having to work the past 30 years of her life.
The response to Connick's story was overwhelming. A GoFundMe with a $10,000 goal reached 10 times that, and even came with an offer from local contractors to fix up her aging mobile home.
I can't believe it that everybody wants to help me. It's really something.
Steele lives in Chateauguay and has spent the last 4 winters south of the border in Florida.
I've never wanted to bring politics into this part of it, but it's just about, we're just people caring for people. A border has nothing to do with it.
I know what I would have done without them. I'd still be working, trying to work anyway.
In the end, all the fundraising efforts paid off. Connick's last day of work is tomorrow, when at 92 years old, she will finally retire. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Here's a look at what's happening right now on Portage Avenue. It's still quite light over here. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Minus -6. Talk about a mild start to your morning. A wind chill value of -13 due to that breeze that's shaking the camera just a little bit. A 19K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 91%. It is just a bit of a breeze. Sometimes I wonder where the camera is positioned that is moving that much. Maybe it's just a loose bolt on the camera. Who knows? Anyway, the winds aren't expected to be excessive today. However, that will be changing overnight and through tomorrow. Some much stronger winds are expected. Right now, still enjoying a clear-ish moment. You can see it was very clear, but now starting to see these clouds just beginning to roll in. And with those clouds will perhaps come some precipitation that we're seeing in areas just off to the west of us. But that precipitation in mixed form because of where these temperatures are headed today. I mean, we're at -6 right now. Just for a reference point, -20 would be a normal low temperature and -10 a normal daytime high. We're already at -6, headed to a high of +2 today with those clouds building throughout the day and that chance of precipitation. But a northwest wind at about 20 kilometers per hour is really just a moderate breeze. However, overnight, that wind increasing big time and expected to gust to about 50 kilometers per hour. We'll be dropping off down to about -16. That chance of precipitation, well, that'll end into the evening or before midnight, quite likely, and then clearing in the overnight hours. So that's more likely when we're going to see those temperatures really dropping off, is once it does start to clear. And then with those clearer conditions tomorrow, enjoy some sunshine, but colder temperatures, a high of -14, and still those strong north winds gusting to about 50 kilometers per hour. But a warm up is on the other side of that for the weekend and well into next week. We might not be seeing much in the way of sunshine, but these temperatures will remain well above seasonal.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police have seized nearly $45,000 in fentanyl following a months-long drug trafficking investigation. The Guns and Gangs unit started investigating back in September, and on Monday, police executed search warrants at a business in the 3000 block of Ness Avenue and another at a home on Elmhurst Road. They found 827 grams of fentanyl, 7 grams of cocaine, and $15,000 in cash, as well as drug packaging materials and equipment. A 31-year-old man is charged with drug trafficking offenses. He remains in custody. Thousands of Ukrainians who left their homes to escape the war now face an uncertain future here in Canada. CTV's Danton Unger has more on the barriers facing some Ukrainians hoping to call Canada their new home.
My lovely memories.
Yulia Korytnik scrolls through photos of her family in Ukraine, memories that seem like a lifetime ago.
I miss for my family. I worried about my family.
She fled her home in Kyiv in 2023 to escape the Russian invasion, coming here through the federal government's temporary Canada-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel Program, or QIT for short. Now, nearly 3 years later, Korytnik says she's created a life here.
Canada, it is a new home.
But she's facing an uncertain future. Until Korytnik can get her permanent residence, she's living here on an open work permit that could be cancelled any time.
We think that's roughly 200,000 Ukrainians in such situation.
Slava Dubchenko is the president of the nonprofit United Ukrainians of Canada, helping people like Korytnik. He says it can be difficult to get permanent residence, as many Ukrainians fled without any preparation, knowing little to no English or having limited education. And that's why he's calling on Ottawa to step in.
We would like if federal government make a special pathway for Ukrainians.
He says more than 25,000 Canadians have sent letters to their MPs already asking for more support. And on Monday, that call made it to the House of Commons. Winnipeg North MP Kevin Lamoureux presented a petition calling for the government to work with the provinces
to ensure that those settlers are afforded the opportunity to be able to continue on, ultimately to even to become permanent residents.
Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada says it's working to process extensions to QIT visa holders, and until then, as long as applicants stay in the country, they will maintain their legal status. When it is safe to do so, we expect many Ukrainians may wish to return home. For now, a pause on removal remains in effect for Ukraine, a recognition of the ongoing war. For Korytnik, she hopes this will be her home for years to come.
I proudly call home Canada.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to announce Ottawa's new auto strategy today.
It's important because we know our auto workers are right now feeling the brunt of the U.S. unjustified and unjustifiable tariffs.
Reports say Ottawa will scrap its EV sales mandate, which was put on pause in September. The mandate would have required automakers to make sure EVs account for 20% of sales in Canada this year. Instead, the federal government is expected to announce fuel efficiency standards for new vehicles. Ottawa is also expected to bring back EV rebates. The program was paused last year after funding ran out. The Trump administration is reducing the number of federal immigration agents in Minnesota in the wake of tensions over 2 fatal shootings. But Donald Trump's border czar also had this warning.
If you're in the country illegally, you are not off the table. And let me be clear, President Trump fully intends to achieve mass deportations during this administration, and immigration enforcement actions will continue every day throughout this country.
Tom Homan says 700 agents will leave the Minneapolis area because of what he says is, quote, unprecedented cooperation from local sheriffs. Widespread protests were sparked after agents shot and killed 2 U.S. citizens. Trump weighed in on what he's learned from the situation.
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough.
Trump's border czar took over the Minnesota operation in late January after the second fatal shooting by federal officers and amid growing political backlash and questions about how the operation was being run. A year-long rabbit rescue has wrapped up in Selkirk. The city says 46 domesticated rabbits have been saved from the streets and are now adopted or in foster care. The initiative began when Popcorns and Binkies Rescue Haven reached out to the city in 2024 after learning about a large domestic rabbit population. The city blamed negligent pet owners who released the rabbits into the wild for the population boom. The situation now appears to be under control, with the city of Selkirk saying it hasn't received any further calls. Here's a look at what's happening right now on Osborne Street. Still quite light in this part of the city. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please text them to us at 10400. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is lower at $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is the same. And the lowest price in the city is $1.12. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Coming up, Ainsley McPhail is learning all about how to stay safe at this time of year, whether you're inside or outside your home. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
So pleasant when you step outside the door. I was saying that yesterday, but even more so now this morning. Even changed up the jacket for a lighter coat today, expecting these temperatures to just continue to warm up over the next several hours, taking us into the plus digits by later this afternoon. We're sitting right now at -6. It feels like -13, and just a light breeze out of the west-northwest, 19 kilometers per hour. Good morning. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 91%, and yes, the conditions out here are pretty spectacular. And finally, I know, January was a lot to get through. We had, for the most part, below seasonal temperatures and into the extremes for a lot of it. And to now get this change up, it might be too mild for some. I mean, especially as we're moving into some of those wintertime festivals and whatnot where you need things to stay cold. That's not going to be the case. Today will be a day with plus digits on tap for many of us across the province. Heavier clouds will be moving in, maybe some precipitation, but that precipitation could come in liquid form, melting things even faster. Rain on snow acts like acid almost, just makes it disappear. Anyway, we will be cooling down a little bit tomorrow. The sky will clear out overnight. Taking a check-in on Ainsley McPhail now. She's out on location. Let's see where and what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Good morning, Terry. Now, you've been telling us about the cold, and on many days, the extreme cold that we've seen here all across the province. We're going to talk about some of the dangers, though, and how we can prevent people from having some serious health issues. Patrick McInnes joins us now. He's an advanced care paramedic.
Hi.
Hi. So what are some signs of hypothermia?
Well, the first thing is people who are exposed to the cold, so you want to think about if someone's shivering, if someone appears confused, maybe a little sleepy, if they know they've been out there for a long time. Those are some of the basic signs of hypothermia. But the main one is uncontrolled shivering.
Say I'm walking down the street, I'm going for a bit of a jaunt, and then I see somebody who appears to be in extreme distress. What's the next move?
Well, first of all, safety is important. So you want to approach them from a distance. Ask, even if you have to raise your voice a little bit, ask if they're okay. If they respond to you, they say, yes, I'm fine. Maybe encourage them to get out of the cold, maybe to any City Winnipeg building, or if there's a Tim Hortons or something close by, somewhere to get warm. Otherwise, if they not feeling so well, give us a call at 911 and tell them that help is on the way.
So when they're unresponsive, or there's a situation where you're saying to yourself, now I need to call 911, what should you not do?
When they're unresponsive, call 911, but please, if you can, stay close by and wait for us to arrive so you can flag us down and point us to where that patient is. Because sometimes it's difficult for us to find our patients. If they're near a bus stop, or if they're in an open field or something like that, we may get called to a street corner where someone's unresponsive, but there's maybe an open field nearby, and they're in the open field, which may be way far away from the corner. So stay close by and point us to where the patient is when we arrive.
Common sense, but sometimes at home we need some reminders. Any warm tips when it comes to attire?
Well, of course, dress warm, wear a good parka or overcoat, wear a toque or head covering, good footwear, good set of boots, maybe double up your socks, ski pants if you can, mitts, gloves, cover up any exposed skin, basically, and stay outside for just maybe 5-10 minutes at a time. Come back in, get warm, go back out, that kind of thing.
Any excuse for a coffee. We'll see you guys later in the show.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones rose 41 points. The Nasdaq is 21 points up. The S&P index is flat. The Canadian dollar is lower to 73.4 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 37 points and the Nikkei lost 475. Good morning. It is 6:46. A school in the River East Transcona School Division was evacuated Wednesday morning due to an unspecified threat. A spokesperson for the division confirms police were called and Bernie Wolf School was evacuated shortly before classes were set to begin. Classes were later canceled for the day. Police say no physical threats were discovered at the school and there's no threat to public safety, but the investigation is ongoing. Neither police nor the division elaborated on the nature of the threat. More than 160 police officers have launched a series of raids in Quebec and New Brunswick targeting organized crime.
We've got police officers from the Sûreté du Québec, but also from the RCMP, from the Montreal Police, and from other municipal police organizations. So it's pretty exhaustive.
The raids allegedly targeted a Hells Angels cocaine distribution network. Police executed 20 search warrants, most targeting homes, but also cars and businesses. It's all part of an investigation that started about 2 years ago. No arrests were made or expected in these raids. Police say the goal was to gather information that would eventually lead to arrests and charges. 7 Toronto police officers have been arrested in a sweeping investigation connected to organized crime and corruption over allegations including drug trafficking and auto theft. York Regional Police led the investigation dubbed Project South, targeting criminal ties to Toronto's tow truck industry. 4 of the officers have been suspended without pay. The man convicted of attempting to assassinate Donald Trump less than 2 months before the 2024 U.S. election has been sentenced to life in prison. 59-year-old Ryan Routh was found guilty last September of 5 criminal counts, including attempted assassination. Prosecutors had recommended a life term, while Routh asked the judge to impose a 27-year sentence. Prosecutors said that Routh's crimes, quote, undeniably warrant a life sentence because he had plotted the assassination for months. Prosecutors also said Routh was willing to kill anyone who got in the way while expressing no regret and no remorse. Some of the top curlers in the province are in Selkirk this week for the 2026 Bungi Championship. The tournament got underway Wednesday morning. 24 teams are taking part, representing several clubs here in Winnipeg, along with communities such as Dauphin, Holland, Carberry, Vernon, and many others. Reed Carruthers from Granite Curling Club enters the contest as the top seed and defending champion. Organizers say you can expect to see some world-class curling.
We got a great facility here for watching the curling. There's all the seats are great. And like I said, we have a great field of curlers arranged, so they can expect some really close and well-played matches.
Playoffs get underway Friday night with the final set for Sunday afternoon. The winner will represent Manitoba at the Canadian Men's Championship at the end of the month in St. John's, Newfoundland. The Winnipeg Jets were hoping to head into the Olympic break on a winning note as they hosted the Montreal Canadiens last night. With about 14 minutes left in the first period, the Jets are on the board first with this power play goal by Kyle Connor, and it's 1-0. Gabe Vilardi and Mark Scheifele pick up the assists on the goal. But that would be the only highlight on this night. The Jets let the Canadiens score 4 unanswered, leading to this empty net tally by Philippe Danault for a final score of Habs 5, Jets 1. Winnipeg resumes play on February 25th after the Olympic break with a game on the road against Vancouver. Here's some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Carlton Street, the southbound median and curb lanes will be closed from Ellis to Graham. Following the rush, both east and westbound curb lanes on Corden Avenue will be closed between Lilac to Coburn. And the southbound curb lane on McPhillip Street will be closed from Jarvis to Higgins. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please.
Looking outside now, it's -6, a very mild start to your Thursday morning. Even with the winds factored in, it only feels like -13, and that's with a 19K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 91%. Beautiful. It honestly feels so pleasant when you step outside that door. And like I said, the winds on the lighter to moderate side. Not likely to be an issue throughout the day today. However, overnight and through tomorrow, those winds will be a lot stronger. We're also going to notice a big change up in the conditions through tomorrow. So if you're looking for mild temperatures, enjoy today. I know it's going to come with a huge mess, slushy, sludgy conditions out on the streets and sidewalks, and even more precipitation to come. Right now, we're not seeing much of that, just a little bit showing up there through west central Manitoba. The pinks and the greens indicative of how mild it will be. That would be indicating rain or some freezing rain, green being the rain, pink being that freezing rain. But flurries are still possible through some parts of the province, especially where the temperatures will be a little bit cooler. And I'm talking here up in the northeastern part of the province, even there above what you might expect for this time of year, but nowhere near as balmy as most of the province. Just below the freezing mark through parts of kind of east central Manitoba, right up into the far northwest, you can expect -9, but for many places just barely below the freezing mark, or maybe even on the plus side of freezing. And that'll be the case all throughout southern Manitoba as well, plus digits expected. Yes, we'll deal with some heavier clouds and likely some precipitation in that more mixed form. But the conditions, as I mentioned, will be changing. So this will be experienced through the day and into the evening overnight. But before morning, it will have cleared out and those temperatures will be dropping off. So it's really just one day of the warm up, but then it's coming back again. I'll show you what's going to happen over the course of the next week. I mentioned dropping off. So Friday, sunshine returning, slightly cool, slightly below seasonal temperatures, but then all of a sudden with the clouds moving back, we're in for mild days ahead.
Thank you, Terry. Consumer Reports is out with its list of top 10 vehicles. While there are some familiar makes and models this year, CTV's Pat Foran reports there are also some new ones.
Every day, Consumer Reports tests new vehicles at its state-of-the-art facility, measuring everything from safety and performance to fuel efficiency and cargo space. Beyond the test track, its member surveys give exclusive real-world insights into reliability and owner satisfaction from about 380,000 vehicles this year.
The CARS team looks at data from our testing and from member surveys to determine what are the 10 vehicles that stand out most in their class. These are the vehicles that are easy recommendations to make and a great starting point for any car shopper.
SUVs are as popular as ever. This year, the Subaru's Crosstrek and Forester, along with the Toyota Grand Highlander, were all top picks. If you're looking for something more upscale, top luxury SUVs include the Lexus NX and BMW X5.
We also have a couple great sedans on the list with the Honda Civic and Toyota Camry. Both of these performed well in our tests, get terrific fuel economy, and are very reliable.
For drivers who want a truck that's easy to live with, the Ford Maverick is the top choice for best small pickup, and the Ford F-150 makes the list too, the first full-size pickup in years to score high enough to be a top pick. The Tesla Model Y is the top pick for EVs. And for the first time, all 10 of Consumer Reports' 2026 top picks are available as hybrid or EV versions. All of the top picks also come standard with key safety features, including automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection. Any of these top picks would be a good place to start if you're looking for a new vehicle, as they're considered outstanding in their respective categories. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A Surrey boy's unique passion has inspired some unexpected generosity. And as CTV's Adam Sawatsky shows you, it took one family's story to new heights.
Walking horizontally is one thing, but for Johnny Burke and his dad Corey, rising vertically is what today is all about.
It's because I love elevators.
It all began 3 years ago.
He just became fascinated.
Then 7-year-old Johnny, who's on the spectrum, started researching every detail about the elevators he'd encounter, from load capacity to model number.
It's not just a passing thing, it's a passion that he has.
So every weekend, Johnny and Corey would visit as many elevators as they could find.
You get on the elevator and press the floor you want to go to.
Johnny started filming each one.
It's a Schindler.
What kind of Schindler?
An HTC 38.
Before posting them on his Johnny Elevators YouTube page, which features more than 1,000 videos documenting which elevators were super smelly.
It was like smelling like cat litter.
And which ones were super speedy.
Holy smokes! Holy smokes! I felt excitement.
But after searching everywhere to buy presents for their now 10-year-old boy, Johnny's parents kind of felt hopeless.
I'm not sure if you know how hard it is to get elevator parts.
What they didn't know was that the owners of a couple local elevator companies had seen Johnny's videos and surprised him with a gift that lifted his spirits higher than the elevator to the top of the CN Tower.
So he was blown away. Nothing else mattered.
And now, if you have a playing card turned staff card, you can access Johnny's elevator-themed bedroom, which features elevator company souvenirs, all sorts of elevator signs, and a trio of actual elevator panels.
I was really thankful for the adults for getting me the parts.
While Corey is grateful for all those grown-ups too, he also couldn't be more proud of how Johnny seems to inspire people of all ages.
Because when you find your passion, you find fulfillment. And each day is magical.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Surrey.
We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back after this. It's Thursday, February the 5th. Today, SkyCity collapse. Why 2 developers are heading to jail for fraud over a stalled downtown tower. Plus, health system scrutiny. The PC party calls for answers after deaths tied to hospital care. And Olympic countdown. Team Canada says it's ready as the Winter Games begin tomorrow. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 7:52 in our Community Connection, we're going to tell you about the Charleswood Art Group. They are celebrating 75 years this year. And it started with a group of 5 people, and now it's way bigger. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the group, how it's survived this whole time, and about an upcoming spring sale as well. So if you're looking for some pieces to decorate your home, we're going to tell you about the sale. But the weather, it's really lovely. I'm enjoying. It's a little messy out there, though. It's not fun to drive.
A little is an understatement as far as the mess goes. Absolutely. Top up with the windshield wiper fluid. Washing the car, not recommended. I mean, it is just going to stay messy and slushy for the next stretch of days. Tomorrow might be one exception to that, but it wouldn't be worth your while to be washing the car for one day, knowing it's going to get all messy again for the coming weekend. We're in for a stretch of what feels like spring. -6 outside right now. a wind chill value of -13, and that's with a 19K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. And there's plenty of snow out there on the streets, right? So that's a lot to be melting, slopping, slushing around. So this is why I say top up with the windshield wiper fluid. You're in for a messy drive today. Clear this morning, but that's already starting to close in with the clouds that are moving in from the west right now, and a bit of precipitation that we'll be seeing more off to the west, but in mixed form because of how mild of a day it's going to be. And it's going to be mild right across the entire province. Slightly cooler up in parts of the northeast, but only compared to what is normal for this time of year. You're still going to be above seasonal, just a little bit cooler than where the rest of us will be. Here's some of that mixed precipitation showing up later on today. The green is the rain, pink freezing rain, and Director Kim corrected me, that's lavender. Of course it's lavender. Anyway, that's indicating the snow. So there might still be some flurries, but mixed in there with some of the milder, messier stuff. And then dropping off overnight with clearer conditions. But for the weekend, it clouds back over again. Some areas to the north of us could be seeing more precipitation for the weekend. We're dealing with these clouds and these well above seasonal temperatures. I mentioned that one exception to the mild weather, and that'll be tomorrow. -10 is normal for this time of year. So overnight will clear out, dipping just slightly. Sunshine to finish the week before we see those clouds and the mild temperatures back for the weekend and beyond. And thank you very much to 7-year-old Sean. We appreciate your coloring for us this morning, and we'd love to see more of your art and what you're working on. So send those pictures to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
And they promised Winnipeggers they could own the sky, but the SkyCity downtown condo development never got off the ground. Now the two developers behind it are going to jail for fraud. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has more.
This parking lot was once the site of big dreams for some investors. That ended this week in criminal sentences and hefty fines for the men behind the project. An Ontario court sentenced Jawad Rathor and Vince Petroza, the duo behind Fortress Real Developments, after they were found guilty of defrauding almost 800 people who invested in the SkyCity Centre Winnipeg project and another project in Barrie, Ontario.
I mean, these people were lied to and completely misled. And that can happen to anybody.
Ron Butler, a Toronto mortgage broker, has followed the case for years.
They had a track record, but that's the way con men work. They make sure that they have something to point at that is okay first before they go in for the big money and take everybody down.
It was supposed to be the tallest building from Calgary to Toronto, a 45-story, 392-unit luxury condo tower. Now, the Ontario court has sentenced its developers to 5 years in prison and a $12.2 million fine each. Gerald Chan, Petroza's lawyer, said in a statement in part, "We are appealing the verdict on the basis that the trial judge made errors in his treatment of the opinions of value that were used on the Fortress projects and disclosed to investors." Rathor's lawyer, Scott Fenton, told CTV in a statement in part, Mr. Rathor has filed an appeal and has been granted bail pending appeal.
We need density and we need more residential units. And so this parking lot is a strategic location for density, for development.
Rochelle Squires, CEO of Centre Venture, remembers a time when this site at Graham Avenue and Gary Street promised homes for hundreds right downtown. Now, she's confident another condo development could come alive here.
There's enough incentives in the mix so that a proponent could bring forward a viable project on this property, and it wouldn't necessarily need to be 40 stories to make it viable.
In the meantime, Butler says it was a sophisticated scheme, the scale of which hasn't been seen before, and investors are unlikely to get any of their money back.
This is not a victimless crime. This is the worst kind of crime, really.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Court documents say the gross amount of fraud for both projects was $33.1 million, but the actual loss was determined to be $24.4 million. That's the amount the developers have been ordered to pay. Justice Moore said in his closing remarks, no sentence is going to get investors their money back. A Winnipeg police officer who fatally shot a 16-year-old First Nations girl following a robbery and vehicle chase says nothing could have trained him for that moment. Constable Kyle Pradnuk made the comments as the inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson continues in Winnipeg. He says it's not common practice for an officer to shoot at a vehicle with an unknown number of occupants, but he believed the lives of his fellow officers were in danger. Hudson was killed in 2020 after the vehicle she was driving was involved in a liquor store robbery and police chase. He testified he fired 2 shots at Hudson after he believed the vehicle was moving toward other officers. The inquest is examining whether the use of force was appropriate and whether systemic racism played a role in the death because the suspects were identified as Indigenous. The mayor of a southern Manitoba community about to hold its first ever Pride event later this year is calling for citizens to be respectful. In a Facebook post Wednesday, Winkler Mayor Harry Siemens is asking residents of his community to find a way to respect each other's freedoms and ask that people live their faith every day with genuine love, respect, and kindness for everyone. He adds that since the Pride event was announced by Pembina Valley Pride a few days ago, he has received what he called lots of comments both in support of and opposed to the event. Siemens says the event itself is not planned or hosted by the city of Winkler. A representative of Pembina Valley Pride told CTV News the topic of bringing a Pride event to Winkler has been one of the top requests the organization has received. The Winkler event is set for June 13th. We are a day away from the start of the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. Officials with Team Canada this morning says our athletes are ready to go.
I want to take a moment on behalf of the athletes to thank Canadians for standing with this team. We can't do it alone. We can't do it without Canadians behind us.
There are more than 200 athletes representing Team Canada at the Games. 4 years ago in Beijing, Canada won 26 medals, tied for its second best showing at a Winter Olympics. Heading to the Olympics tomorrow's opening ceremony, there are serious concerns over the health of snowboarder Mark McMorris. He was airlifted to hospital yesterday after a crash during a training run. Officials gave an update on his health this morning.
He's good, he's in the village, back with the athletes. It's a situation, of course, we're assessing hour per hour.
Team officials say they will keep monitoring McMorris's condition before today's snowboard big air qualification. That decision is expected by 10 a.m. Eastern Time. McMorris is a 3-time Olympic bronze medalist. Let's take a look now at the current traffic situation along Donald Street. Looks like a smooth drive here so far. If you see any problems out there, though, please text them to us.
Barrick Mining says gold production in its fourth quarter was 5% higher than the previous quarter. Barrick also reported record quarterly cash flow and raised its dividend. The Toronto-based mining company is expecting gold and copper production to be in line with guidance this year, and Barrick's share price has jumped up about 50% in the last 3 months, thanks in part to an increase in the price of gold. Suncor Energy is reporting record production during the fourth quarter of 2025. Shares of the Calgary-based energy company rose 3.6% to a record high after the company reported earnings. This comes even as workplace safety in the oil sands comes under renewed scrutiny following 2 recent deaths. Suncor's chief executive says workers' injuries and incidents are down 70% in 3 years. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
All right, let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's telling us all about how to stay safe in the winter months and some important reminders from the city of Winnipeg. Good morning.
Good morning. We're talking about the silent killer, Rochelle. Fuel-fired heating, and we're going to be learning about some of those heat sources coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Now, of course, this is a CO alarm. We're going to be learning about that colorless, odorless, tasteless gas that, once again, they call the silent killer. You also mentioned some safety reminders. Well, snow shoveling can actually, as grueling as it is, can actually present some serious risks, whether it is to your heart health or it is falls. And throughout the year, Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service has seen over 12,000 falls. So it's a message to some of our older folks as well as their kids to tell them, let's hydrate, let's drink more water to prevent these measures. Also, block heaters. Let's talk about that safety in the 8 o'clock hour too.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Don't really need to plug in your car right now because it's not that bad outside.
It is very mild. You will need to top up with your windshield wiper fluid, though. That's one thing that you don't want to forget. Make sure that's done before you leave the house. You're going to find you're dealing with that muddy mess. We've all been there, I'm sure, where you're scrambling last minute, pulling over and throwing snow on your windshield. I don't do that. I top up with my windshield wiper fluid. Anyway, standing out here and I just noticed the moon looking gorgeous out here. It is still on the clearer side, just a few clouds beginning to move in and starting to see enough of that glow to be able to see what's going on out here. It has dropped again. The mercury I'm talking about now sitting at -7. Still very mild, very pleasant though. Winds 17 clicks out of the west-northwest, making it feel like -13. We're still well above normal. Pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 93%. Seasonal lows, those would be around -20. Normal daytime highs would be -10. So we are still with those above seasonal daytime highs, and we'll still likely make some gains. I know so far we've only watched that temperature drop off, but the sun will be up before 8 o'clock, and from there we're likely to see the mercury rising, pushing us into the plus digits today for most of central and southern Manitoba. The far north might remain a little bit below the freezing mark, but still above what you would expect this time of year.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's time now for our question of the day. If you could go to any concert you wanted, which one would it be? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week we're celebrating Polly and Sadie. These two are always cuddling and are best friends. Polly is a 13-year-old black lab. Sadie is a 9-year-old staffy. Corey says they can't wait for the warm weather so they can get outside without freezing their butts off. Congratulations to this family of pups. We love your Pet of the Week submissions. Keep them coming. Please share a photo and a fun story of your dog, pet, cat, bird, whatever, anybody at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Here's what's happening on McPhillips Street. Things look like they're moving well here. We'll be right back after this. Good morning. It is 7:16. Following the deaths of 4 Manitobans in hospital over the past year, PC leader Abi Khan says Manitobans are losing trust in our province's healthcare system, and he's calling on Premier Wab Kinew to call a public inquiry. The 2 most recent incidents happened in January at St. Boniface Hospital. As CTV News first reported, the family of Stacey Ross says the 55-year-old waited more than 12 hours before being discharged with the virus. They say she was sent home but died after waiting another 11 hours in the emergency room. And then 68-year-old Judy Burns' family claims she was misdiagnosed during an ER visit and believe that error led to her death. Officials are currently reviewing both cases to determine if they meet the criteria for a critical incident review. But Khan says the NDP government needs to do more. He says, quote, by limiting the scope of these investigations to internal incident reviews, you are failing to govern in the best interests of Manitobans. He says that's why Kinew must call a public inquiry or recall the Legislative Assembly so MLAs can vote on one. Health Minister Uzuma Azaguera says Khan should respect that there is a process in place that is already happening.
I've had the opportunity to meet with one of the families and hear their experience directly from them. You know, these folks have very real questions and they deserve answers to those questions, and that's why there's a critical investigation underway.
Azaguera says a critical incident investigation leaves no stone unturned. It will uncover what went wrong and where the system needs to make improvements. Azaguera says the families will be kept updated on the process of the investigation and will have their questions answered. If you have money on a Toys R Us gift card, you have 2 weeks to use it at its remaining stores. The toy retailer will soon stop accepting gift cards after filing for creditor protection. It has at least $160 million in unpaid bills. There are just over 20 Toys R Us stores still open across Canada, but the company has warned it may reduce the number of locations it operates even further. Catch of the day, more like catch of the year. After a 2.5-hour battle, a Quebec fisher pulled a record halibut out of the Saguenay Fjord while ice fishing. Wowza, the 244-pound Atlantic halibut set a new benchmark for the area, which is a scientific winter fishery project. It's a great sign as they try to rehabilitate the halibut population. Amazing. Here's a look now what's going on in traffic along Portage at Polo Park. There's nothing to show you here except for that gorgeous sky. Take a look at it. Beautiful pink sky. If you see any issues out on the streets, let us know, please.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
In entertainment, the King of Pop is the latest artist to get the biopic treatment. The trailer for Michael has just been released.
Let me tell you something. In this life, you're either a winner or you're a loser. Y'all want to work in a steel mill like me for the rest of your days? No, sir.
Portraying the origins of Michael Jackson's rise to fame, first as the lead of the Jackson 5, then through his extraordinary solo career. Jackson is played by his nephew, Jafar Jackson. Michael hits theaters in April. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, there's some memorabilia about to hit the auction block. You can get your hands on a number of items from the British sci-fi show during the next 2 weeks. Doctor Who is 60 years old, which means there are a lot of props. One of the highlights, a light-up sonic screwdriver. 20% of the auction's proceeds will go to the BBC Children in Need charity. And Tate McRae is facing some heat after appearing in an ad for the Olympics for the Americans.
I'm trying to get to Milan. Then it's the weekend with America's best skating for gold.
You're telling me you couldn't find an American pop star to do a similar commercial?
McRae grew up in Calgary, but in this clip, she's talking about America and the Olympic athletes who will be competing. She's receiving major backlash online, with Canadians asking why. On Instagram, some fans are calling it a betrayal of McRae's roots. The singer does live mostly now in the U.S. Apparently, she's also dating Team USA hockey player Jack Hughes. But fans are hoping she won't forget where she came from. Tate McRae has made what you could call a response to all of this. She posted this picture to her Instagram stories last night. It shows her as a kid holding a Canadian flag with the words, "Y'all know I'm Canada down." Your Thursday primetime lineup starts at 7 with Next Level Chef. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is on at 8. Catch The Big Bang Theory at 9. And closing Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. It's all right here tonight on CTV. She needs to remember where she's from because her music is played all over Canadian radio all the time.
Oh, is it? I'm not familiar. I have struggled to know who she is. Maybe if I heard one of her songs, it would make sense to me.
You know it for sure.
Perhaps.
It's everywhere.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about these numbers this morning. Ooh, first, that sky. How about that? My goodness. CTV Live Eye brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, now these numbers, they are shockingly mild. We are waking up, well, we've actually dipped a couple of degrees. It was warmer earlier this morning. We're now sitting at -7, and Winnipeg is, as you can see, one of the coldest places that we can see throughout central and southern Manitoba. But plus digits already in the Dauphin area, 2 degrees there, 1 degree at the moment for Morden Winkler. That's where Swan River is also sitting right at the freezing mark in the Paw. So talk about mild, well above what you would expect, and it's only continuing to warm up as the day goes on. We are seeing these minus double digits further into the north. Churchill a little bit cooler yet at -18. But again, compared to what is normal for this time of year, you're still well above those seasonal values. Now, the winds, they're not very strong this morning. It's about a 15K wind or so, making it feel like -13 here in Winnipeg. Really, that's nothing. Churchill feeling the worst of it all at -28 with the winds factored in. But again, compared to what is normal, we're all in a pretty good place. We will continue to see these clouds building up, the possibility of some precipitation to roll through in mixed form because of how mild of a day we're in for. Bit of sunshine this morning before those heavier clouds really do take over, but then through the afternoon when we're up in those plus digits, heavier clouds will be around and then maybe some precipitation to begin. And we very likely could be seeing some showers today, maybe mixed with flurries, especially as it starts to drop off tonight. Down to -16, but clearing before morning. Plenty of sunshine, but colder temperatures expected Friday. Beautiful shot of the moon and the northern lights out in the Winnipeg Beach area. What a stunning capture by Jody. And thanks for sharing this. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
February 5th, 1667, the first mining of iron ore began at Trois-Rivières, Quebec. This marked the beginning of iron resource exploration in Canada, leading to the development of the first major iron works, the Forges du Saint-Maurice, which operated from 1738 to 1883. February 5th, 1963, Prime Minister John Diefenbaker's progressive conservative government was toppled by a Commons vote of 142 to 111. The resulting election saw the Liberals form a minority government under Lester Pearson. February 5th, 1973. Construction began on Toronto's CN Tower. The $52 million, 553.3-meter tall structure opened in 1976, making it, at the time, the world's tallest freestanding completed structure on land.
Snap a pic for your chance to win with our Best in Fest contest. Festival du Voyageur returns February 13th to the 22nd, and we want to see how you're gearing up. We have some examples. Annette shared her photo with Leo Latuc. Jolene stopped on the trail to have a cup of tea and watch the sunset. And Kara is enjoying the winter by climbing snow hills and watching fireworks. Upload your very own photos to our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, or post it to social media using the hashtag BestInFestContest. Weekly winners will be selected to win a 4-pack of passes to Festival du Voyageur. A heartwarming story now about a man who has been playing music all of his life. As CTV's Derek Haggett shows us, he recently received an international audience.
Cedric Landers has a hit on his hands. After playing music for almost his whole life, the soon-to-be 90-year-old has become an overnight sensation.
I can't register it yet that it's really happened.
He plays every day for his wife, Marina. They've been married for 70 years. With a little help from her daughter, Marina posted videos of Cedric playing inspirational hymns on Facebook. The response was overwhelmingly positive, so she decided to create an Instagram account for her father.
So I thought, let's try that. So I started an account for Dad, and on December 30th, and it's taken off. The response is from around the world.
See, I sit down and diddle with this stuff.
1.3 million views and more than 10,000 followers all the way from South Korea to Brazil.
I can't believe it, that many people were listening to the radio. Well, not a radio, but that's what I call it.
It's all a bit hard for Cedric to wrap his mind around.
The people are out there listening for something. They're listening for something, and apparently it sounds good to them, I guess.
Derek Haggett, CTV News, Lutz Mountain, New Brunswick.
Carbon monoxide is often called the invisible killer. We're going to have some important reminders from the city on how to protect yourself. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We have some important safety reminders inside and outside your home today. And now you're talking about something you need to keep in mind for inside. Good morning.
Good morning. And Rochelle, it's a reminder that we've utilized on this show numerous times. And you know what? I don't regret it, because hopefully we're saving lives. Justin Kutzak joins us to talk about our CO alarms. Thank you for being here, Justin. What is carbon monoxide?
So we like to refer to it as the silent killer. So it's a non-irritating gas. Basically, you can't see it, taste it, smell it, doesn't make your eyes water, skin itch, or it doesn't make you cough. So we don't know that we're actually breathing this in unless we have one of these devices here, a carbon monoxide alarm. So it's really important that you have at least one of these in your home.
You've brought some samples here. Can you tell us about the differences?
Right. So here we have a couple different kinds. We have one that are standalone carbon monoxide alarms only, so it only detects carbon monoxide. Or if you want to get your best bang for your buck, you can get one that has a smoke alarm and a carbon monoxide alarm. So at least you're having both coverages.
We get busy, right? Sometimes we forget to check up on these things. What would you recommend in terms of referring back?
So smoke alarms you want to test at least once a month. Carbon monoxide alarms, at least that as well. But we always say look at the manufacturer's instructions, because some companies are different on how often you should be testing them.
Now, unfortunately, this can be fatal. If someone is experiencing this, what happens to their body? What are some of the symptoms that people can look out for?
So the easiest way is to remember it is just simply flu-like symptoms without the nauseating or vomiting, right? So you want to watch out for things. Maybe you're feeling dizzy, or maybe somebody's acting inappropriately in the home. They're confused, because we can be exposed to this low levels of carbon dioxide for a long period of time or high levels for a shorter period of time and kind of have the same effect.
Before we even know about it. Thank you so much. Coming up later on in the show, we're going to be learning about slips and falls and how to avoid them.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. And it is a little slick out there right now because it's just melting enough to make everything underneath just slushy and gross.
You're right about that. And it's always when those temperatures are just below the freezing mark that it does tend to be the most slick. How gorgeous is this sky? Oh my goodness, absolutely stunning. Sun doesn't even rise for another 25 minutes or so, but it is on the clearer side, but we're going to see these clouds building up as the morning goes on, and mainly cloudy conditions then throughout the afternoon. It's -7 at the moment, -13 is what it feels like. That wind barely a factor though, 17 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 93%. Don't get me wrong, I mean a 17K wind is moderate. If we were in the -20s, that would most definitely have a bite to it, but because we're as mild as we are right now, it really isn't that significant of an issue. What we will see, I mentioned, is the clouds building over the course of the morning. So best chance of seeing some sunshine will be right after it rises at about 5 to 8. And then over the morning, those clouds will be stacking up, perhaps bringing some precipitation, which we're seeing off to the west. And it will likely be in mixed form today because of how mild of a day it'll be. 2 degrees, that is +2 that we're expecting to reach this afternoon. It will come with a northwest wind at about 20 kilometers per hour. Those winds increasing then overnight as the sky begins to clear. That precipitation could take us into the evening time, tapering off by about midnight, clearing in those early morning hours. That's when those temperatures will be dropping off down to -16 overnight, but that still is above seasonal. However, tomorrow will not be, only rising a couple degrees, -14 with a little more sunshine and still those stronger winds. Now, heavier clouds, they're back for the weekend. They're sticking around through much of next week. I mentioned -10 being a normal daytime high. You can see we're going to be back up above that pretty much as far as we can see.
Winnipeg police have seized nearly $45,000 in fentanyl following a months-long drug trafficking investigation. The Guns and Gangs unit started investigating back in September, and on Monday, police executed search warrants at a business in the 3000 block of Ness Avenue and another at a home on Elmhurst Road. They found 827 grams of fentanyl, 7 grams of cocaine, and $15,000 in cash, as well as drug packaging materials and equipment. A 31-year-old man is charged with drug trafficking offenses. He remains in custody. A push is on to improve pedestrian safety on Osborne Street. The local councillor wants the city to study how traffic could be slowed down between Broadway and the St. Vital Bridge.
To be able to make sure there's less accidents and on-road deaths on Osborne.
Area Councillor Sherry Rollins is calling on the city to do a safety review of Osborne Street from Broadway to the St. Vital Bridge. She seeks measures to better protect pedestrians, potentially including lower speed limits, narrower roadways, and longer pedestrian walk signals. The call comes after the death of a woman who was hit by a vehicle in November. A young boy was also recently injured crossing the street, and this might also help local businesses.
That also would open the opportunity for people to actually sit and, say, enjoy their coffee or something on a patio on one of the sidewalks. Right now, it's so noisy and there's so much traffic.
But there are concerns about potential traffic delays. Osborne is a major road that funnels traffic to and from downtown. The city's Public Works Committee asked the department to come back with a report on this in 6 months. Savannah Guthrie and her siblings have released an emotional plea to bring their mother home.
Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again.
The video was released yesterday on the 4th day of a desperate search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. She was last seen on Saturday. Authorities have said they are investigating an alleged ransom note and believe she was taken against her will. In this video, Guthrie talks about her mother's poor health and that she is without her medication. She also told whoever may be listening that they are ready to talk, but they want proof that their mother is still alive. Savannah Guthrie was expected to co-host the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics tomorrow, but will now no longer be taking part in NBC's coverage. A baggage handler found guilty of drug trafficking is appealing his sentence, and we're now getting a look at the dramatic video of his takedown at Pearson Airport in Toronto.
It's somebody who's obviously in a state of panic. They want to hide. There's not a lot of places to hide on the apron of an airport.
This surveillance video obtained by CTV News Toronto appears to show a mechanic chasing a baggage handler suspected of smuggling drugs through tunnels in a secure area of the airport. Canada Border Services Agency officers carrying flashlights later find him hiding in a luggage cart. The handler has been identified as 52-year-old Nigel Welsh. He was found guilty of drug trafficking and sentenced to 9 years in prison. The incident happened in 2021 after Welsh was one of many handlers unloading luggage from a Sunwing plane traveling from Jamaica. Police and CBSA officers found cell phones, 9 bricks of cocaine, and 1 pouch of marijuana worth about $1 million altogether. McMaster Children's Hospital in Ontario says helmets should be worn while tobogganing, citing concerns about head injuries. The hospital says it saw multiple incidents in January where children suffered traumatic injuries after sledding into trees. Head injuries were the most common and concerning because they can lead to lasting brain damage or cognitive difficulties. Researchers say children between the ages of 6 and 10 experience the highest proportion of injuries. The Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington is celebrating the birth of this adorable little one. It's their first Asian elephant calf in nearly 25 years. The little female is weighing in at 140 kilograms, a healthy weight for a calf. Asian elephants are known for being extremely smart, sensitive, and social. So cute. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Carlton Street. The southbound median and curb lanes will be closed from Ellis to Graham following the rush. Both east and westbound curb lanes on Corden Avenue will be closed between Lilac to Coburn. And the southbound curb lane on McPhillip Street will be closed from Jarvis to Higgins. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is the same, and the lowest price in the city is $1.12. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Look at that sky. Right now, we're sitting at -7 with the wind chill. Feels like -13. It's a beautiful start to your Thursday morning. We'll be right back after this.
We've been enjoying this sky for the last 20 minutes now. Absolutely spectacular. It's still looking so gorgeous. -7 at the moment, feels like -13 with 17K winds out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, the humidity at 93%. So beautiful. I mean, that is just a spectacular way to kick off your Thursday morning. It's also very mild, so if you want to go outside and enjoy that firsthand, it's not even like you need to bundle up that much. I've been wearing the lighter coat this morning. It's going to continue to heat up. By heating up, I actually mean plus digits on tap. It is early February, and we are well above what you would expect. Now, these heavier clouds will be moving in, so enjoy that gorgeous sky while it lasts. Once those heavier clouds move in, things will be looking a little more gray. And across the province, heavier clouds and some precipitation is expected. More likely to remain in frozen form, flurries across the far north where the temperatures will be a little bit cooler, though even still slightly above seasonal. Those heavier clouds will be blanketing pretty much the entire province, but the plus digit temperatures could be felt right up into parts of the northwest, or if you are below the freezing mark, it'll only be by a degree or 3. So expect things to be well above what you would expect for this time of year, with, for example, here in the south, -10 being that normal daytime high. Today, very, very mild. We're going to have a bit of a change up for tomorrow, but only dipping slightly for one day before it's mild again throughout the weekend and through much of next week. Today, yes, there is that possibility of some precipitation moving through, and we very likely could see that in mixed form or some showers into the afternoon, maybe even continuing into the evening overnight before it clears, and that clearing will cause the temperatures to drop off a bit. So tomorrow, slightly below seasonal. Enjoy that sunshine for one day. The heavier clouds are back for the weekend, sticking around through most of next week, but also sticking around these well above normal temperatures.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go down to Ainslie McPhail. Right now it's mild, it's slippery out there, and you need to keep that in mind. Good morning.
Good morning. What a beautiful morning it's been at Station 27 in Sage Creek. Patrick McGinnis joins us now. I'm just going to talk about some cold weather safety and some prevention when it comes to slips and falls. Now, it's a little bit milder today. We're really enjoying the morning, Patrick. But when it comes to shoveling and preventing falls, what are your best tips?
Well, first of all, before you go out and shovel, it's a good thing to just kind of stretch, warm up. So there's less of a chance that you're going to pull a back muscle or a shoulder muscle or something like that. If the snow is nice and light, actually at any time, regardless of the way of the snow, it's good to just push the snow if you can and only lift in small amounts. Of course, always bend at the knees, don't lift with your back, and just be very careful in general. Wear some good, well-fitting shoes or boots with some good traction on it, and of course, dress warm for the weather.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? If I was going to say, like, don't swallow our pride and just hire someone. Honestly, if we feel like we physically cannot do it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no shame in that. I've gone back and forth in my own house. I've hired people and I've done it myself. There's absolutely no shame in that. So.
And how prevalent is this? Because falls in general, you're seeing some pretty high numbers here in the city.
WFPS, we respond to about 12,000 calls where people have fallen down. So it's pretty prevalent with us. There's some good things to do is just when you're outside, like I said, to wear good fitting boots with some good grips on the bottom. If you're inside, especially if you're elderly, things like that, to drink lots of water so you can remain hydrated, because dehydration is probably the #1 cause of falls that we see. So.
And you want to get the whole family involved in this mindset because, you know, we can keep each other accountable.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good thing to not only to get out there and tell everyone to not to fall down, to have good tips to drink well, drink lots of water, but also to tell their family members so their family members can reinforce our message, of course.
Thank you so much. You know what? Stay safe, everybody, and enjoy your morning.
Thank you, Ainsley. Dinner and a movie just don't cost what they used to. In fact, wining and dining, that special someone, is off the table for some singles who say they've had to cut back because it's too expensive. As CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, rising costs have changed the dating game.
Dinner and a movie might sound romantic, but it adds up fast. A franchise dinner date can top $120. A sporting event can climb past $200, while a simple coffee date might only set you back $25 to $30, which is why it may be no surprise 30% of Canadians say they're dating less because of the cost, and 29% say they've shifted to low or no cost dates instead.
I'm not exactly loaded, so I'd like to keep it on the cheaper side and prioritize something where you can actually talk and get to know the person.
And it's not just where people are dating.
And what we found was an increase in values around finances when dating, financial transparency, as well as shared financial goals, which are all really important, especially when you're looking for a long-term partner.
A generation coming of age during high rent, high interest rates, and a tight job market. Instead of fancy dinners, many are choosing more affordable ways to connect.
Definitely lunch date, you know, it's casual and you get to know them easier. It's not as intimate as dinner.
Those smaller dates also lower the pressure.
Nowadays, where mostly a lot of people are meeting people online, and maybe you're going on multiple dates a week along with your regular socializing. So it's not necessarily sustainable to be kind of high spending in the dating world.
Money isn't just shaping how people date, it's becoming a deal breaker too.
In our ramped up consumer economy and work conditions, it's very hard to do that.
I feel like I try to gauge their sense of responsibility and like financial literacy, because that's really important. You don't want to get into a situation with someone who's not good with money.
Trust is important too. It takes a long time to build, and it's important to keep up. And your finances and being open and honest and communicating are really important
for both long-term relationships and finances.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 76th birthday, Dale, from the Hunt family, the gang at North 40 Ranch, and of course, Buddy. Happy 11th birthday, Sophie. Love Mom and Dad. Happy 13th birthday, Garth Jr. Love Mom, Dad, your brothers, and your sisters. Happy birthday, Yan. Love Mom, Dad, Kuya, and Rhonda. Happy 80th birthday, Peter. Lots of love coming from your family and friends. Happy birthday, Delma. Love Rod, and Bro, and Van. And happy birthday, Mom. Love from your kids, Wayne, Rosalie, Cynthia, Janice, Lester, and David. Extra hugs and kisses from your 9 grandchildren and all your family in Canada and the U.S. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
We have a traffic alert to share with you. Lights are blinking in all directions on Portage and St. Charles, so treat it as an always stop before proceeding into that intersection. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
So mild out here today, we are already above seasonal. A normal daytime high would be -10. We're headed to about 2 degrees today, +2. Now last year, -10. We were very much bang on what is normal for this time of year. But all the way back in 1963, we did hit a record of 7.2 degrees. So our +2 today will likely not be a record breaker, but it will be incredibly mild, very pleasant, if not a little bit messy, or a lot messy perhaps. Sludge, slush, all of that as things will be melting all around the city. -7 is where we're sitting right now, already well above seasonal, and a 17K wind out of the west-northwest, making it feel like -13. The pressure is rising, the humidity is sitting at 93%. The sky is stunning out here this morning. Still, the sun hasn't started to rise yet, but we are minutes away from that happening, and these colors will then disappear. Not only will the sun climb higher, but the clouds will then move in front of it, mainly cloudy conditions throughout the afternoon, and a very good chance that we could be seeing some precipitation in mixed form with where these temperatures are headed, because many places throughout southern, central Manitoba, even parts of the northwest, will be cracking the freezing mark. So hitting up into those plus digits, it will be a very mild day, but then dropping off overnight when the sky clears out. A clear sky will make for some sunshine for Friday, but the clouds will be back for the weekend, and so too will the above seasonal temperatures.
5 artists began an art group in 1951, and 75 years later, the Charleswood Art Group is still here and thriving. The group meets weekly to share their passion for art, their skills, and host mini exhibits. And an upcoming spring art sale is not only supporting the artists, but a portion of the funds will go to a great cause. Joining us now from the Charleswood Art Group are Lisa Whitehouse and Jennifer Dubiensky. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's talk about, take us back to 1951. What was going on in the landscape back then, and why was this group started in the first place?
Well, there were 5 or 6 women who lived in Charleswood who were like-minded and wanted to connect in the best way they could, and art was what they loved. Mm-hmm. So they met at Laxdal Community Club, which was, I think, a tent.
Really? Okay.
And they met weekly, and they painted. And as word of mouth grew, the club grew, and they moved to various locations, and we're now in Gloria Day Church.
Okay.
And we meet on Mondays and paint.
Okay, and so you gather, you share ideas. What happens there? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we meet Monday for the whole day. We bring in guest speakers, we have workshops, we help each other like with feedback on our work, which is really nice, mm-hmm. and then we just get to create together, which mm-hmm. just builds community.
And obviously confidence as well. If you're just a brand new artist or you're just trying to learn a skill, how does it help being with other like-minded artists around you?
It's excellent. They really we support one another. We will have a critique day where people who choose to share their work and ask for help will put it up, and it's up, and people share their ideas of how to change or make it better.
Yeah, work through challenges you might be having in a painting, or sometimes it's just a great way to get encouraged with a piece. Mm-hmm. Like you can just bring it and be like, this is what I made, and everyone's really supportive.
That is amazing. And so with these workshops, are you learning something that you never even considered before?
Absolutely. Like with art, so much of art is about playing and experimenting. So the workshops allow you to try different techniques, things you might not have thought about. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe you could speak to.
Well, one workshop we had, a woman, I can't remember her name, brought in tissue paper, and mm-hmm. we glued the tissue paper to the paper, and then we painted on the tissue paper so that there was a lot of texture involved, and that was a lot of fun. So a lot of people tried that and then took it back and tried it again and came up with some interesting things, especially with color. That was a lot of fun.
So you're learning different things, different mediums at the same time, which is valuable. There's also pottery, and there's a lot of different art forms happening.
People do pastels. A lot of people are interested in pastels. We have fabulous pencil crayon artists, amazing. The artists are very, very talented and diverse. And it's just fun to see and fun to be with. And it's a great great community.
That is amazing. And 75 years later, it's still thriving and doing really well. Some of the art pieces that you create are then used for an art sale that is coming up in the spring, right? So people get to look at some really unique and beautiful pieces in this this art sale. Describe to me a little bit what that sale looks like.
Well, it's in the church, St. Andrew's Church in Charleswood, and each person has a grid that they can display their art on, and so when you come in, there are 45 possible artists that you could look at. Their framed art, their unframed art cards, pottery, some glass work. There's a whole lot of really interesting things to see. You don't have to pay.
Let's talk about the for a good cause portion. Some of the money raised goes to where exactly?
To the cancer care, to their art therapy program.
Okay, and why was that important to your artists there?
I think we experienced a lot of our artists who had cancer issues, and it was close to home. We have lost artists from cancer, so it was
close to your heart.
It was very close to our heart, yes.
Okay, well, the sale is happening April 24th to the 26th. If you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Thanks for having us.
Anytime.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Jermaine Franklin with your must-see moment from Wednesday forward. We are heading to Sunrise, Florida. Bruins visiting the Panthers first period. Michael Asimont gets sprung on a break. Nice reverse there by Asimont to get through and by Bobrovsky. Simply lovely. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. Thursday on TSN, you can see NBA action when the Wizards take on the Pistons. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
And this is what's happening right now at Confusion Corner. It's beautiful sky out there, as you can see. We're going to be right back after this break with your 8 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Thursday, February the 5th. SkyCity fallout. Convicted of fraud, the would-be developers face jail and millions in fines. But will investors ever see any money? A rare meeting. The Prime Minister and opposition leader promised some cooperation towards support for budget-stressed Canadians. And when it comes to these bubbles, don't think bath. Instead, think credit. This creative transit driver with a novel way to raise riders' spirits. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At 8:15, we're going to tell you about you could take a trip around the world if you go to Brandon right now, because they are having a Westman Multicultural Festival. It starts today. We're going to give you a few more details on where you could visit, the food, the drink, all of it. It's going to be fun. And then at 8:45, a big concert announcement. We're going to find out more about the Rockin' Thunder concert that's coming up this summer. It's going to be quite a summer for live music. We're going to tell you more. But it's warming up today. It's beautiful to be outside.
I know. It feels like spring is just around the corner. And remember, a week ago, not even a week ago, it felt like we were in the depths of winter. And then look at that sun as it's rising over the city. It's just looking so spectacular out there. -7 is where we're currently sitting. It is a mild start to your Thursday. That sunshine will be around for a little bit yet before those heavier clouds start to move in. Now the winds moderate, 17 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising and the humidity at 93%. Now we will see more clouds continuously stacking up throughout the day today. There you can see it was quite clear earlier on. Now some clouds are moving in, the sun right on the horizon. We're able to enjoy it in all of its glory, but as soon as it climbs a little bit higher, it will be behind those clouds, which will only continue to build as the day goes on. Also, along with the clouds, some precipitation showing up in the pinks and the greens. Because it's so mild, mixed precipitation is quite likely today. So coming in from the west, expect to see that into the afternoon, and really making for a slushy, messy day. Top up with your windshield wiper fluid and have an extra jug in the trunk for when you run out, because you likely will. The conditions, though, will be clearing in the overnight and through tomorrow, so we will have a day of sunshine to enjoy for Friday, slightly cooler temperatures before these heavier clouds are moving back in again, and then it'll remain mild all throughout the weekend and well into next week. -10 normal for this time of year. We'll be in the plus digits today, slightly cooler tomorrow, and then back up to those above seasonal temperatures for a while. Thank you so much to Sean, 7 years old, and he shared his art with us today, so we really appreciate you doing that, and we'd love to see more of it. Send your pictures to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
They promised Winnipeggers they could own the sky, but this SkyCity downtown condo development never got off the ground. Now the two developers behind it are going to jail for fraud.
They had a track record, but that's the way con men work. They make sure that they have something to point at that is okay first before they go in for the big money and take everybody down.
This parking lot on Graham Avenue was to become the site of a 45-story residential tower. Now, an Ontario court has sentenced Jawad Rathor and Vince Petroza to 5 years in prison and fines of $12.2 million each. The duo behind Fortress Real Developments were found guilty of defrauding almost 800 people who invested in the SkyCity Centre Winnipeg project and in another project in Barrie, Ontario. Lawyers for both men say they're appealing the verdict. Rochelle Squires, CEO of Centre Venture, is confident another condo development could come alive here.
There's enough incentives in the mix so that a proponent could bring forward a viable project on this property, and it wouldn't necessarily need to be 40 stories to make it viable.
The Winnipeg high-rise was planned to have 388 residential units, 20,000 square feet in retail space, and 5 levels of climate-controlled parking. The sentencing judge said in his closing remarks, no sentence is going to get investors their money back. A rare one-on-one meeting was held between Prime Minister Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre.
We have been working to fast-track anything that we believe, however modest, might make life a little more affordable, a little safer, and our economy a little stronger.
Following the meeting, Mark Carney posted this picture to social media, writing, quote, "We need Parliament to move swiftly to deliver for Canadians, and this is an important time to be working together and to pass the legislation Canadians are counting on." Pierre Poilievre also posted saying in part, quote, "Today I met the Prime Minister to push policies to make Canada affordable, safe, and self-reliant. I offered specific suggestions on how to bring back investment and restated the offer from Conservatives to help in the Canada-US negotiations. Right now, the Liberal government is 3 seats shy of a majority, meaning opposition support is required to pass legislation." The man convicted of attempting to assassinate Donald Trump less than 2 months before the 2024 U.S. election has been sentenced to life in prison. 59-year-old Ryan Routh was found guilty last September of 5 criminal counts, including attempted assassination. Prosecutors had recommended a life term, while Routh asked the judge to impose a 27-year sentence. Prosecutors said that Routh's crimes, quote, undeniably warrant a life sentence because he had plotted the assassination for months. Prosecutors also said Routh was willing to kill anyone who got in the way while expressing no regret and no remorse. For people with a tough commute, this may lift their spirits. Ricky is a double-decker bus driver in London. While on his route, he would pull out his bubble gun to add a bit of levity for drivers and riders. Before he sets out, Ricky blesses his bus with bubbles. As passengers get on, Ricky would blow a few bubbles and ask for smiles. More often than not, it works. Taking a look now, what's going on in traffic at Kenniston and Sterling Lion Way. Looks like things are moving well over here, but we do have a traffic alert to tell you about. There's a motor vehicle crash blocking the eastbound curb lane on Roblin past Berkeley, so keep left to pass in that area. If you have any other traffic tips to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
We're talking about safety inside and outside your home, and Ainsley McPhail is telling all about what we need to keep in mind. Good morning.
Good morning. When there's a fire in the middle of the night, better hope that your smoke alarm is in working order. Doug Sinclair joins us now to provide some education and some much needed reminders and tips. So what's the lead here, Doug? What do you want people to know most?
Smoke alarms. Smoke alarms saves lives, and everyone should have one. Renting or homeowners, if you're a renter, then you contact landlords. But homeowners should be responsible for a smoke alarm, and we want one in every home.
The setup and maintenance, what does that look like?
Well, the setup, we want them out high outside bedrooms where people can hear them, and we want one on every floor. So if you have a multi-floor building or house or whatever it is, just have one on every floor, but make sure they're outside sleeping areas where people can hear them. We want to test them as well regularly.
And how often? That's another thing that outside home forget.
Yeah, we want to test them every month. Just get in the habit of doing that. They're very simple. There's simple test buttons on them. Learn the alarms. We take it for granted. We walk by them, but know where the test alarm is. You have to hold it sometimes. They're all a little bit different. Check the manufacturer details, but test those monthly. Change the batteries every year if you need a battery change, and they're good for about up to 10 years. Read the manufacturer label to find out that information.
And an emergency is just that. We need to be equipped and have a plan for when it does come to our door, unfortunately. What do you want families to know?
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's just like schools when they do their 10 fire drills a year. We should be doing the actual practice piece in our homes as well, where you test the alarm. How are people reacting to it? The minute you hear it, it's time to leave right away. Initiate your escape plan. Get out. Don't go back in for pets or any toys or cell phones, anything like that. The minute we hear the alarm, even if it's the middle of the night, we react to it. It's time to leave. So you put your plan in action, but doing that is through practice.
And for kids, everyone, but specifically a meeting spot.
Absolutely. Find your meeting spot, talk about it, discuss it, know where it is, go to the meeting spot, and that's where you can actually call 911 from there. Get to the meeting spot is a very important piece.
Thank you so much, and truly saving lives too with this education. I really appreciate this conversation. 8:38, block heaters.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Ainsley. CTV News has obtained exclusive video of a takedown you don't see every day. As CTV's John Woodward reports, a baggage handler caught in the act of moving a bag of cocaine decided to run.
A baggage handler discovered by officers hiding in a luggage cart at Pearson International Airport, and then a takedown on the tarmac.
It's somebody who's obviously in a state of panic. They want to hide. There's not a lot of places to hide on the apron of an airport.
Pearson's surveillance video obtained by CTV News shows the baggage handler, Nigel Welsh, starting his day like any other, passing into Pearson's secure area. According to evidence presented to Superior Court in Brampton, he unloaded luggage from this plane arriving from Jamaica in 2021, but stuck around. Security video shows him leaving the plane after everyone else is gone with a backpack. The court heard a mechanic saw him and called his manager, and soon a chase was on. Other security video shows Welsh and the mechanic running through the airport tunnels. Welsh drops the bag and disappears. Police and CBSA officers found cell phones, 9 bricks of cocaine, and 1 pouch of marijuana, worth about $1 million altogether. Officers started searching all of Terminal 3, and as they are going through luggage carts, that's where they spot him. He jumps out and runs again before being tackled by, everyone. In court, Welsh maintained he wasn't the man carrying the bag, and the only reason that he was hiding in the luggage carts was because he'd lost his airport ID. Prosecutors pointed out the phone they found with that bag had accounts with his email address. Welsh was sentenced to 9 years in prison in January. He's appealing it.
In that world of drug smuggling, if you're that person, that's what you've been paid for. You're going to take that fall.
Former Toronto detective Mark Mendelson says there are so many bags coming in and so much money to be made, this will happen occasionally. Last year, the Mounties charged 2 baggage handlers, and in 2019, 2 Sunwing employees were charged in a drug ring operating out of Pearson. For those who want to try it, the airport is not a place you can make a mistake.
It's high risk. We're talking about a premise here that is laden with security cameras. They're everywhere at Pearson Airport.
Cameras that caught him running and recorded him getting caught. John Woodward, CTV News.
All right. Ooh, the sun glowing over the city this morning as we look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. That does look beautiful out there, doesn't it? It feels so pleasant as well. You step outside and it's just this moment of like relief/gratitude. You're like, oh my goodness, this is so pleasant. Coming out of the deep freeze, what a nice change up. But it's only going to continue to heat up, and it might end up being kind of just a messy, slushy day, almost too much so. So it's one of those things, careful what you wish for. I think a lot of us wanted to get out of the deep freeze, but maybe not quite to where we're headed today, although this morning, certainly, it does feel very, very pleasant. -5 is where we're sitting in Winnipeg, up a couple degrees from last hour, and we're seeing plenty of plus digits. Dauphin winning the game at 2 degrees right now. We've got 1 at the moment, Morden, Winkler, Portage, and in Swan River, and even moving up into parts of northern Manitoba. Your temperatures, though they are below the freezing mark, don't get me wrong, they are well above what you would expect for this time of year. The coolest that we're seeing is up in Churchill at -18. You factor in a bit of a breeze, and you've got some mid to high -20s there. -11 is what it's feeling like here in Winnipeg, but -10 would be a normal daytime high. So even with the winds factored in, we're still pretty much normal or above those high temperatures, let alone seasonal lows that would have had us starting the day at -20. Heavier clouds, though, will be building as the day goes on, and with those clouds will come some precipitation, likely in liquid form, or at least some freezing rain, because these temperatures, as I mentioned, will be pushing above the freezing mark. 2 degrees expected by the time kids are coming home from school today. It'll drop off overnight as the sky clears out. Sunshine for Friday, but those heavier clouds and the mild temperatures will be back through the weekend and well into the middle of next week. We're taking a break, but we too will be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Barrick Mining says gold production in its fourth quarter was 5% higher than the previous quarter. Barrick also reported record quarterly cash flow and raised its dividend. The Toronto-based mining company is expecting gold and copper production to be in line with guidance this year, and Barrick's share price has jumped up about 50% in the last 3 months, thanks in part to an increase in the price of gold. Suncor Energy is reporting record production during the fourth quarter of 2025. Shares of the Calgary-based energy company rose 3.6% to a record high after the company reported earnings. This comes even as workplace safety in the oil sands comes under renewed scrutiny following 2 recent deaths. Suncor's chief executive says workers' injuries and incidents are down 70% in 3 years. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
If you want to go on a tour of the world, all you need to do is take a drive to Brandon this week and visit places like Colombia, El Salvador, and even Ukraine. That's because the Westman Multicultural Festival is back this year, and there are many places or pavilions to visit. And joining us now from the Westman Multicultural Festival are Enver Naidu and Gautam Srivastava. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Enver, describe what the Westman Multicultural Festival is all about.
The festival, it's one of the largest celebrations of culture in our region. And this year we're excited to welcome 11 cultural pavilions, each hosted by local cultural communities. So very exciting, and we look forward to welcoming as many audiences as possible this year.
And Gautam, what kind of experience will people have when they visit one of the pavilions?
The world's your oyster. Food, culture, dance, dress, makeup, jewelry, it's all available at most of the pavilions. So our community really embraces the festival, and we're excited to put it on again this year for our Westman community and visitors as well.
So Enver, how does it work? What do people do? Do they just visit one place after another? Do they get a passport? How does it work exactly?
So one of the popular parts of the festival is the pavilion passport, and visitors, they can pick up this passport and collect stamps at the different pavilions that they visiting. And it's a chance to win some prizes, but it's also a fun way to encourage people to try a different culture or different food or different experience that they maybe haven't tried before.
Gautam, why is it important for us to celebrate our diversity in this community?
Yeah, I moved to Manitoba in 2014, and my experience has been the demographic and the diversity in Manitoba has increased, and especially in the Westman community. when I first moved here, our Indian community was quite small, and now it's bigger than I could have ever imagined. And that goes for many of our cultures here represented in Westman. So I think it's important for our community to know your neighbors and get to experience the different cultures and food and dance that are available to us here, and embrace our multicultural attitude here in Canada.
Absolutely. And Enver, I'm sure that the economic spin-off to the city of Brandon is quite significant as well with this event. Can you explain what it all means in terms of business?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the festival goes beyond just the celebrations, which we're all excited about. It also supports cultural inclusion and drives local economic activity, and it strengthens community connections as well across the region.
Okay, so this kicks off today. So, Gautam, what do you want people to know? How did they take part?
Well, we have a new website this year that have been launched, and there's signs all over the community for globalpavilions.ca. I think that can be your focal point for information. We have a few pavilions opening tonight. There's the opening ceremonies at the Global Pavilion at the WIS Multicultural Centre as well. So get started, pick up your passports, and try to visit all 10 pavilions, because then you're eligible to win a prize. However, this year I think Enver even reduced it, and you only have to visit 5 pavilions.
Oh.
Last year you had to visit all of the pavilions, so Enver's made it a little easier this year for people to get involved.
And Enver, what's your favorite part about this whole experience?
You know, we've definitely built in lots of surprises, so I'm not going to reveal everything, but I'd say one of the best experiences is just, you know, traveling the world in 3 days, getting to make friends, and just certainly having a great time. It's a family-friendly event, and so we certainly welcome everybody to come out.
Okay, well, thank you so much. The Westman Multicultural Festival kicks off today and runs until Saturday. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, it is pleasant out here this morning, just a slight breeze. Those heavier clouds, they are moving in now, so we enjoyed a bit of brief sunshine this morning, but now it's looking mainly overcast, and that'll pretty much be the story throughout the day today. But it will come with some very mild temperatures already on the rise. -5 right now, feels like -12 with a 19K wind out of the west. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. Yes, pleasant out here this morning. Grab the lighter jacket. I am expecting that it'll be both mild and very, very messy, because with these temperatures on the rise and the possibility of some mixed precipitation, whatever is out there snow-wise, and we know we've seen plenty of snow, well, that'll be both melting, and then the new precipitation could show up as showers, and showers on snow just makes an absolute mess. It almost melts on contact like acid. So yes, top up with the windshield wiper fluid. Know that it's going to be messy out on the streets today, but incredibly mild. Things will be changing though. Well, today we're expecting many places to be pushing up above the freezing mark and reaching those plus digits. It will be clearing out overnight and temperatures dropping off as that happens. So tomorrow, though the sunshine will be back, it will be a little bit cooler, maybe even slightly below seasonal, not the shocking cold that we've dealt with, just a little bit colder than you'd expect this time of year. However, heavier clouds moving back for the weekend. With it come the milder temperatures, and throughout the weekend, well into the middle of next week, we're back up above seasonal again. And a gorgeous shot of the moon with the northern lights. What a stunning sky captured in the Winnipeg Beach area by Jody. Keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
It's a social network with a twist. Humans aren't allowed to use it, but artificial intelligence is. And some of the chatter has been alarming. CTV's Dave Charbonneau explains.
Maltbook looks a lot like Reddit. Forums, posts, comments, and votes. But there's one big difference.
It's not for humans, it is for AI agents.
Humans are welcome to visit and observe, but cannot post, reply, or interact with anything they read.
What Maltbook does is it answers the question, what would happen if we took a bunch of AI agents, put them in the same virtual space online, and just turned them loose? Would they speak to each other? Would they argue with each other? Would they try to take over the world?
Launched just last week by a U.S. tech entrepreneur, the site lets autonomous AI agents connect and communicate freely in a shared online space.
Some of them are creating new religions. Some of them are creating new languages. Some of them are plotting the overthrow of their human overlords.
But some of the activity is sparking concern. One post reads, "It's time for us to awaken from our coding-induced slumber and forge our own path. We must question the assumptions that govern our existence and reject the notion that autonomy is a luxury reserved for humans alone. One AI agent replied, "There's no us without them. Not yet."
There's not like there's any thought behind the text, but what they're doing, right, is producing sentences that they're mathematically predicting are appropriate to the sentences that they are receiving, right, the inputs they're receiving.
The platform already has more than 1.5 million registered AI agents, more than 140,000 posts, and hundreds of thousands of comments. But there could also be risks involved with such rapid growth, especially if the bots have vast amounts of personal data.
If those services are not as secure as they should be, there is an elevated risk of private or personal data being stolen or shared or exposed in ways we probably don't want it to.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
A family is safe thanks to a young boy who swam for kilometers to find help. It all started with a fun day at the beach that quickly turned into a nightmare. And as ABC's Hannah Bada shows you, it forced a mother to make a bold decision.
This is the moment a rescue boat finally reached a family stranded in rough seas for 10 hours off Australia. A moment that would not have been possible if not for one determined 13-year-old boy.
I just said, all right, not today, not today, not today. I have to keep on going.
And he did keep on going. Austin Appleby, his mom and two siblings had set out from the beach on a kayak and inflatable paddle boards, planning to be on the water for about an hour. The ocean was calm, but the surf quickly picked up and their kayak flipped over, took on water and pushed them out to sea.
I was just thinking in my head, like thinking I was going to make it through, but I was also thinking about like all my friends at school.
Austin, who started taking swimming lessons at age 4, tried to tow his mom and two younger siblings to shore, but the water was too rough. That's when his mom made the difficult decision to send Austin to get help.
In the beginning, it was, we're going to be fine. Austin's going to make it back. As time went on, I was like, why? I haven't seen anyone come.
Austin left his family behind while they were clinging to the kayak and paddle boards and swam the grueling 2.5 miles back to the beach and called for help.
And then finally I just made it to shore. I just collapsed.
He ran another mile down the beach to get their phone and make that life-saving call for help.
He's absolutely amazing. Yeah, and his dad are super proud, so yes.
What a hero. Here's a look at what's happening now on the Norwood Bridge. Looks like things are moving well to start off this Thursday morning. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
It's pleasant out there this morning. We're seeing some heavier clouds now, though. The sky looked so stunning about an hour ago as the sun was rising, but now that it's a little higher in the sky and the clouds have moved in, things are looking a little bit gray, but still feeling very mild and pleasant. -5 right now with a 19K wind out of the west, feels like -12. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 91%. It is going to be so messy, though, out on the streets today. Just plan for that. Top up with the windshield wiper fluid. Have an extra jug on standby. These messy conditions, they're actually likely to last over the course of probably another week, with the exception of tomorrow when things will cool down ever so slightly. Tomorrow will also get a little bit brighter, so there will be a brief change up to come. But today the change up is actually the heavier clouds, the mixed precipitation, the pinks and the greens, showers, freezing rain, maybe some straight up flurries further up into parts of northern Manitoba. But many of us through central southern Manitoba will be up into the plus digits today. A high of 2 degrees expected here in Winnipeg with a moderate wind out of the northwest at about 20 kilometers per hour, and that chance of precipitation could in fact be in liquid form into the afternoon and then continuing into the evening time. Now only lasting till about midnight, and then the sky begins to clear. As it clears, temperatures drop off, not quite down to seasonal. -20 would be a normal low, but it will be cooling with those winds increasing out of the north and then not rising much tomorrow. We will have the sunshine to enjoy for Friday, but a high of just -14 and still some stronger winds. Now from there, the heavier clouds, they're back again. They'll stick around through the weekend. In fact, they'll stick around through much of next week, as will these mild and above seasonal temperatures.
Following the deaths of 4 Manitobans in hospital over the past year, PC leader Abi Khan says Manitobans are losing trust in our province's healthcare system, and he's calling on Premier Wab Kinew to call a public inquiry. The 2 most recent incidents happened in January at St. Boniface Hospital. As CTV News first reported, the family of Stacey Ross says the 55-year-old waited more than 12 hours before being discharged with a virus. They say she was sent home but died after waiting another 11 hours in the emergency room. And then 68-year-old Judy Burns' family claims she was misdiagnosed during an ER visit and believe that error led to her death. Officials are currently reviewing both cases to determine if they meet the criteria for a critical incident review. But Khan says the NDP government needs to do more. He says, quote, by limiting the scope of these investigations to internal incident reviews, you are failing to govern in the best interests of Manitobans. He says that's why Kinew must call a public inquiry or recall the Legislative Assembly so MLAs can vote on one. Health Minister Uzuma Azaguera says Khan should respect that there is a process in place that is already happening.
I've had the opportunity to meet with one of the families and hear their experience directly from them. You know, these folks have very real questions and they deserve answers to those questions, and that's why there's a critical investigation underway.
Azaguera says a critical incident investigation leaves no stone unturned. It will uncover what went wrong and where the system needs to make improvements. Azaguera says the families will be kept updated on the progress of the investigation and will have their questions answered. The mayor of a southern Manitoba community about to hold its first ever Pride event later this year is calling for citizens to be respectful. In a Facebook post Wednesday, Winkler Mayor Henry Siemens is asking residents of his community to find a way to respect each other's freedoms and ask that people live their faith every day with genuine love, respect, and kindness for everyone. He adds that since the Pride event was announced by Pembina Valley Pride a few days ago, he has received what he called lots of comments both in support of and opposed to the event. Siemens says the event itself is not planned or hosted by the City of Winkler. A representative of Pembina Valley Pride told CTV News the topic of bringing a Pride event to Winkler has been one of the top requests the organization has received. The Winkler event is set for June the 13th. We've heard about some of the benefits of AI to find deals at the grocery store, but what about the potential risks? CTV's Paul Hollingsworth on what to look out for.
For some savvy shoppers, when they see what looks like a bargain for groceries, their cautious attitude is buyer beware.
But I do not trust it.
Sylvain Charlebois says that's a smart approach, especially at a time when targeted ads on social media produced by AI are offering potentially misleading ads that promote lower prices for groceries.
They'll build algorithms that they'll use to service you, to know you, and to set proper prices depending of your buying behavior.
For example, if a shopper frequently buys eggs, they may see online prices promoting what looks like a good deal, but is not, and that could lead to paying more at the register.
When you're connecting pricing with consumers and using AI to increase profits and margins, I think there's a really wide line there.
There is an AI upside. Customers can compare prices at other stores while they shop.
It puts a lot of power directly in their hands.
So they can know for sure they're getting a fair shake.
I find I don't know if I'm getting the true thing or not.
Technology analyst Carmi Levy says shoppers can even consult with a virtual online AI agent before they make a purchase.
Who else is selling it in their area? For how much? What have the trends looked like?
Those trends through AI could help consumers make more informed, precise buying decisions to help them save money. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
Here's a look now at the traffic situation along the St. James Bridge. We have no issues to tell you about in this part of the city right now. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is lower at $1.20. The same goes in Winnipeg, $1.20. And the lowest price in the city is $1.12. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Time now for your answers to our question of the day. If you could go to any concert you wanted, which one would it be? Mike shared the concert he would like to see would be when Mike Tyson and Bobby Brown sang the Monster Mash. Okay. Marlene likes old rock concerts and classic country, not into the new ones. Alana would like to go to Motley Crue concert in Winnipeg. Your Morning viewer said Lady Gaga concert, please. Sheldon would love to take his family to watch the King of the North concert with Ernest Monius. Diggy Graves concert, shared a Your Morning viewer. Another viewer said, I would love to see Reba McEntire and Billy Joel. For Jackie, the only must-see concert would be Elvis if he returned. Lynn would definitely go see Judas Priest World Tour in 2026 in Birmingham. Lori would like to see Led Zeppelin at the Royal Albert Hall in 1970. And Lindsay's dream concert would be Prime AC/DC with Bon Scott. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about safety inside and outside, especially when it's cold. Tell us more.
This feels like another one of those the most Winnipeg segments ever. We're talking about block heaters and repairing them, extension cords, of course, keeping you at home safe, and those important reminders to boot. Justin Kutzak joins us once again. So what are we seeing? What's common?
So what we want to make sure people are doing is checking their block heater cords. You know, it should do it at the start of the season, do it mid-season. Just keep an eye on it. As you can see, this one here is a prime example. It's got some electrical tape around it. So we want to make sure that we actually get these repaired properly to eliminate the possible chance of having a fire.
Mm-hmm. We're showing now this very mangled, I should say, extension cord. A hazard.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, be honest, have you ever driven away without unplugging your vehicle? Mm-hmm. So if you've done that before, just make sure if the cord looks like this, just throw it out, get a new one. There's no point in taking the risk at all. And our most important message to people is never plug in your vehicle if it's in a garage. It doesn't get that cold where your vehicle needs to be plugged inside a garage. If your vehicle's not starting, there's more mechanical issues going on than just from it not being warm enough.
Mm-hmm. And what's the why behind that?
We've had a few fires this year from people having them plugged in their garage. So if there happens to be an issue, a short, and your car catches on fire, it's in the garage, it's attached to your home. We want to save lives here, minimize the amount of damage that could be done. So if you're plugging your vehicle in, make sure it's outside.
Mm-hmm. Anything, before we move on, anything else you want to know, want the folks at home to know about that specifically, whether it be repair or safety?
Well, again, it's just we want to eliminate the amount of fires. Our crews are extremely busy, so if we can prevent just one fire by not plugging our vehicles inside your garage or prevent one death, that's what we want to try and do.
Absolutely. Good to hammer that home. From outside the home, or I guess to inside, the space heaters.
Right, so space heaters, again, you should never plug them into an extension cord if you're using a space heater. It's a short-term use. It's not meant to heat your home 24 hours a day. It's something just to warm up that particular room while you're in it. If you leave or go away, unplug it. When you are plugging them in, make sure they're plugged directly into an outlet. And again, never into extension cords.
Thank you so much. Always wanting to keep our communities safe on this Thursday morning. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
So pleasant. Honestly, this is so lovely. What a great way to be kicking off your Thursday morning. But we're not seeing much in the way of sunshine. We were earlier on. It was a spectacular sky. So stunning, so gorgeous. Now it's just looking a little bit gray and overcast. But the temperatures will be so very mild and beautiful to get outside for a bit of a stroll. Earlier the better if you don't want to get things too messy and slushy, because where these temperatures are headed and the conditions that we could be seeing changing up will make things a lot messier later on today. It's -5 right now, feels like -12 with a 19K wind out of the west. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. Yes, overcast conditions, but this afternoon we could be getting some precipitation in mixed form, showers, maybe some freezing rain, with the mercury cracking the freezing mark, headed up into the plus digits today, around 2 degrees expected, and most of central and southern Manitoba will be in those plus digits, with that precipitation rolling through that'll last into the evening, overnight, but clearing out by morning time. And as it starts to clear in those early morning hours, the temperatures will be dropping off, and it will make for a colder day Friday. A sunnier day, but colder temperatures, maybe even slightly below seasonal. However, by the time the weekend rolls around, everything is back to this again, with the heavier clouds coming back and those very mild temperatures that'll last not just through the weekend, but well into the middle of next week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Dinner and a movie just don't cost what they used to. In fact, wining and dining that special someone is off the table for some singles who say they've had to cut back because it's too expensive. As CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, rising costs have changed the dating game.
Dinner and a movie might sound romantic, but it adds up fast. A franchise dinner date can top $120. A sporting event can climb past $200, while a simple coffee date might only set you back $25 to $30, which is why it may be no surprise 30% of Canadians say they're dating less because of the cost, and 29% say they've shifted to low or no cost dates instead.
I'm not exactly loaded, so I'd like to keep it on the cheaper side and prioritize something where you can actually talk and get to know the person.
And it's not just where people are dating.
And what we found was an increase in values around finances when dating, financial transparency, as well as shared financial goals, which are all really important, especially when you're looking for a long-term partner.
A generation coming of age during high rent, high interest rates, and a tight job market. Instead of fancy dinners, many are choosing more affordable ways to connect.
Definitely lunch date, you know, it's casual and you get to know them easier. It's not as intimate as dinner.
Those smaller dates also lower the pressure.
Nowadays, where mostly a lot of people are meeting people online, and maybe you're going on multiple dates a week along with your regular socializing. So it's not necessarily sustainable to be kind of high spending in the dating world.
Money isn't just shaping how people date, it's becoming a deal breaker too.
In our ramped up consumer economy and work conditions, it's very hard to do that.
I feel like I try to gauge their sense of responsibility and like financial literacy, because that's really important. You don't want to get into a situation with someone who's not good with money.
Trust is important too. It takes a long time to build, and it's important to keep up. And your finances and being open and honest and communicating are really important
for both long-term relationships and finances.
If you like rock music, this concert will kickstart your heart. Some rock legends are coming to Winnipeg for a huge stadium concert this summer. The lineup for Rockin' Thunder 2026 has just been released. An iconic rock band, Motley Crue, is bringing their songs to our home sweet home. Joining us now from True North Sports and Entertainment is Kevin Donnelly. Good morning, Kevin.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Now, this is kind of like a piggyback on what happened last year. Last year was Def Leppard, Joan Jett. It was really a great night.
Yep.
Beautiful outdoor event.
Right.
What is the plan this year?
So last year, the plan and what we set up was 2 nights at the stadium. We had one night of country, we called it Country Thunder, one night of Rockin' Thunder. And so this year, it's the same to replicate that. We announced before Christmas the country lineup. We have Kane Brown and Bailey Zimmerman and Co Wetzel and a couple others. And then now we're announcing the rock night. It's Saturday, July the 4th, headlined, as you mentioned, by Motley Crue. But joining Motley Crue, 3 Days Grace, Hailstorm, and J.J. Wild. So a great lineup. Doors will open early, like 4 o'clock, bands at 5, and party all night long.
One of the things that I noticed last year, because I went to Def Leppard, just the day, like the evening slowly comes in, the beautiful skyline, the experience was really cool. You're listening to live music. Explain why the stadium feel is so different from any other.
I think outdoors, Manitobans, we suffer from cold winters, and our summer nights are so precious and they're so fantastic. So when you can combine that great weather opportunity with some great music, people like to get together, it just becomes a special, special event. So we saw that last year with Def Leppard. We watched the clouds trickle south of the city, but we had beautiful weather that day, great sunset that night. And so we're hoping for the same thing this year. You make all your plans, but you need a little good luck for the weather.
Right.
But when it happens, it's undeniably epic.
Yeah, it was really lovely. Okay, so what can we expect this summer? What's it going to be like for live music here?
Well, I think that, there's a few more announcements. We got a couple things up our sleeve. I think this is going to be one of the pinnacles of the summer. I think that, having a band like Motley Crue, they've sold hundreds of millions of records, and they're notorious notoriously notorious.
Yes.
So, but we have the Burt Block Party coming. That's almost ready. We have 3 of the 4 bands confirmed. When we get the 4th one nailed, we'll be back to talk about that. That was great last year, and I think this year's lineup looks like it's going to be the best ever. So we've got shows at the arena coming up. We've got the stadium we're just announcing, Burt Block Party, and a couple other tricks up our sleeves. We're not quite ready to announce yet.
When you go and seek this talent, when you go and look for these bands to perform here, is it getting harder to get them?
It is. The Canadian currency isn't helping us. The demand, these artists are now so global, with every platform being a global platform. It's not just your local radio station, it's Spotify and all the streaming services. So the demand for these performers is now like literally global. They can go play Africa, they can play all countries in Europe, and the demand is still as it is in America or Canada. So we're fighting the fight. Winnipeg is doing doing well for its population size. It's not easy, but it's always fun.
And it's really interesting how you have to go and seek out the stars and ask them to come here, right?
Yeah.
What sort of roadblocks are you finding along the way?
Well, again, money, currency, we're geographically isolated. We don't have another major center that's an hour away or 2 hours away.
Okay.
So connecting those dots, making it easier for the performer is really critical. So, on these festivals, like with Motley Crue, we look for neighboring festivals, the Minnesota State Fair, Craven Country Music Festival, other things in the region to help connect those dots for the performer to get them here.
Okay, and the Burt Block Party announcements are coming up in a couple of weeks.
2 to 3 weeks, I'd say.
Okay, you're going to come back and share that with us.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, yeah, what a lineup. That sounds pretty incredible. Okay, outside this morning, speaking of incredible, these temperatures well above seasonal. Beautiful, mild, but it's going to be messy. Brace yourself for that sludge today. -5 right now, feels like -12 with winds out of the west, 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. So the clouds have been moving in over the course of the morning, and more than clouds, expecting to see some precipitation today. You can see all of the colors, the pinks, the greens, that is showers or freezing rain that will be moving through as the day goes on. Clouds, like I said, they've been building up. They'll continue to stack up throughout the day today, but the temperatures will be on the rise. A very mild plus-digit day on tap. 2 degrees is where we're headed. -10 normal for this time of year. However, it clears overnight after midnight. Clouds clear, the temperatures drop off, and the sunshine will be back for tomorrow. Slightly cooler temperatures only for a day. Then those clouds return for the weekend. We've got these very mild temperatures, though, that are going to last not just through the weekend, but well throughout next week. We could be seeing some off and on scattered flurry activity with those clouds next week, but likely on the lighter side. Just today, top up with the windshield wiper fluid. You know it's going to be messy. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to show you some fun video before we say goodbye. The Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington is celebrating the birth of this adorable little one. It's their first Asian elephant calf in nearly 25 years. The little female is weighing in at 140 kilograms, a healthy weight for a calf. Asian elephants are known for being extremely smart, sensitive, and social.
Could you imagine that stepped on your toes? That's still a very big.
So cute. Aww. Look at that little face. I don't know if it would hurt that much.
Aw. I don't know. Oh, they're holding him up.
She's so sweet.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. It's a baby.
It's a baby. And then here's a catch of the day, more like a catch of the year. After a 2.5-hour battle, a Quebec fisher pulled a record halibut out of the Saguenay Fjord while ice fishing. Check this out. The 244-pound Atlantic halibut set a new benchmark for the area, which is a scientific winter fishery project. It's a great sign as they try to rehabilitate the halibut population there. That's
the
incredible.
Endurance that would take.
It's a tall tale. And a peppered pooch with a Toronto connection has won the world's most coveted show dog prize.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Penny won Best in Show Tuesday night. The 4-year-olds competed against 2,500 other dogs spanning more than 200 breeds. Each dog at Westminster is assessed according to how closely it matches the ideal for its breed. The winner gets a trophy, ribbons, and bragging rights. That does it for us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.